Go.
All right, we are live. Episode 5 of the Survivor Heavyweights, and we have our first guest here. And
Hello.
That is Mr. Justin Vreeland, the host of Super Duper Survivor ORG, the winner of Broski Survivor ORG Season 2, and the MVP of Broski All-Stars. How you doing, Justin?
I'm doing fantastic. Excited to be on pod and be the first guest. It's fun.
Oh, yeah. We're glad to have you because you're one of our favorite org people. We'll say that.
I mean, y'all are too. So.
You're a legend, so yeah.
And one of our favorite hosts, too.
Yeah.
Yay.
Even though you picked us last in your fantasy draft for All-Stars.
Hey, I mean, clearly it was the right decision.
Yeah, I know. I
didn't score very many points.
Great decision. That was a total flame out by your two heavyweight hosts here.
It's also funny that he knew that Tony wasn't going to pick me.
Yeah, see, so I thought that too. I was like, I knew Tony wouldn't pick Michael, but I thought maybe I knew coming in my chances were going to be tough because I just had like a preconceived notions and a reputation, but I thought Tony or Vree would have picked me maybe like 1 or 2 rounds sooner. I wasn't totally surprised though, but I knew Tony wasn't picking you.
It was, yeah. I mean, I almost picked Michael in the second to last round, but I knew.
But you knew Tony wasn't picking.
Right, so I was like, okay, I might as well just wait.
I'm going to get him anyway.
It was so funny to me how I said I could easily see James being a boot within the first 3 boots.
Oh, you were so correct. I was like, as soon as I watched it, I was like, oh man, like Justin was fucking spot on with that. It was, yeah. I mean, the way I got booted wasn't how I expected, but I knew I could have been an early boot.
Yeah.
So, same with Michael too. Like
it was interesting. I mean, you
I had a feeling I'd go early. Just I'm pissed the way it happened. That stupid 17-person tribe twist.
Hey, I don't.
You could have went earlier than that if Biggs decided to do what he was planning to do.
But that was such a stupid move if he did it anyway.
I didn't say it was a smart move. But I mean, this is Biggs we're talking about.
Yeah,
the man that went home with 2 idols in his pocket the night he had a self-vote against him.
So let's talk about that too. Like, are you shocked that no idols were played the whole season? I can't believe it.
It was nuts.
It was 3 people went out with idols, right, in their pockets?
I think it was more. OJ did. Max went home with a necklace, which is essentially an idol, basically, just a little different. Safety with power.
I forgot about Max. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Biggs went home with 2. Cole went home with 1, and Pushkar went home with 1.
So 5.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think at one point it was 7 straight tribals that somebody went home with something in their pocket.
And Kat played the safety without power, and she was the only person the entire game correctly play an advantage. Like
it was wild.
Well, Derek's vote block the night Caitlyn went home.
Yeah, that was a good play.
Yeah, that. But I'm like post merge, you saw no idols showed up at all. Like it's just crazy.
It's crazy. I mean, we had the most advantages in the game that we've had because it was all stars and there's 20 people and we wanted to have a little bit extra stuff. Nothing. I mean, it was first season we've had no idols get played. Like it was just crazy.
So did All Stars live up to your expectations though?
It was amazing. Yeah, it was such a good season. Like definitely by far the best season we've had.
So I will say, as someone who is a very early boot in your All Star season, I'll take it. Like I played really well the first season, so it's understandable. It happens. And then Broski All Stars, same thing, pretty early boot. But I will say, I think Super Duper All Stars was a lot more entertaining than Broski All Stars. I think Broski was kind of predictable. Like
it definitely, and that was actually something that me and Tony were worried about going into the merge because there was like this group that we thought were just gonna, stick together and run through things, and then it just immediately didn't happen. Ayla was, in that group, and she was the first one gone.
Oh yeah,
merge.
and you had
was like,
people,
all right, I guess things are just happening.
You had Zach and Biggs there who would flip every single.
Well, they were in that group, and then I didn't expect Zach and them to just flip them, and then they did, and then they flipped right back. It was just like all over the place. It was wild.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a good season, and I think I really think all 4 of your seasons before that were great too. Like every single season you guys have had that it's been a final 3 and every single person has at least a vote.
Except for
It's
Ben
almost
now.
nice.
but-
Except for I said before All Stars though, but yeah.
Yeah, it's been great. I've enjoyed every season. Like, you guys know on Twitter we had the one season where we didn't really care for it in general.
Which
but
one
this
was
one-
that?
Sports. Yeah,
Sports.
that season was terrible. That season was so bad.
All right, so let's talk about that too, because we all started on Twitter. So how did you get into orgs? I know Tony played before you, but
Yeah, Tony
how did you
played.
start?
He played X2, which is the game we all know. But
Yeah.
and he recommended playing it to me, and I played X3, and I had a lot of fun. I made the final tribal council on that too, and it was a lot of fun. So I was like, okay, well, I'm into this now. I enjoy it, but that game wasn't that great. So that's when me and Tony were like, well, we could easily make a way better game than this guy's game. So that's when we made Survivor Theme. That was a lot of fun. And then we had X4, obviously, which was interesting.
For sure.
But no, I love playing. I love hosting. It's all fun to me.
All right, and so you're with me where our first Facebook org was the same one, which was Broski season 2, and that was your first win and first game on Facebook, first win.
Yeah, so that was fun.
That was a great season, right?
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, people know like Tony won season 1, and then again he recommended you should try Broski on Facebook.
Yeah.
It's a way better game than playing these Twitter games. Yada yada. I was like, all right, I'll give it a go. I don't know if I've told some people, but like on the app, I literally said it said, why should we cast you? I literally said so me and Tony can be back-to-back winners. Like I had all the confidence in the world going into the game. And it was a great season. I really enjoyed playing that one. That was a lot of fun.
So I mean, I played it with you. We linked up like I guess the second tribe swap, but I got 7th place, but you never turned on me or anything, and it was an awesome season. I think cast was excellent.
Oh yeah, no,
there was just the amount of it was our first Facebook org compared to Twitter, and immediately I saw like once we got a little bit deep enough into the game,
the difference.
Playing on Facebook, you have to connect on like a personal level to people a lot more.
Yeah.
And to me, that's something that's important and it's cool. So it's like,
well, that's what makes it so much better. It's like more realistic when you're actually connecting on a personal level. Whereas Twitter is just like half the people you're playing with are fake stan accounts that you don't even like care to know anything about. And it's just like, there's no video challenges. So the challenges are so limited to like puzzles.
Who could type faster, basically.
Right. So it was just not very realistic at all. I mean, I still had fun at first, but I could never go back to that now.
Yeah, I'm so glad. Like Tony was responsible for me and you making the switch, and I guess Robbie too. But
Robbie got me to make the switch.
Yeah. So how do you feel about that, Michael? You could chime in now. Like,
for
how
you,
did you start playing?
Season 3 of Broski was your first Facebook, right?
Yeah. Because season 3 of Themes was my first one ever.
Yeah.
And then,
so how did you discover Tony and Vreeland's game when it was on Twitter?
I was driving in a car ride home from my sister's house in Georgia, and I come across a tweet from Clarence Black from Survivor Africa. And he said, hey, you should try this game out. And I was like, all right.
Nice.
So
nice. Yeah, we were pumped when he tweeted it out and everything. That was cool.
I remember when he tweeted it out because Tony, I think, literally messaged me and was like, yo, like Clarence retweeted my tweet about our game. Like we might find some more people now. And
that's how you got me.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I like that.
So what was your when you played your first season of Facebook, Michael, was Broski season 3, right?
Yeah.
So how did you instantly enjoy it a lot more than Twitter too? Yeah.
Yeah. And like you guys run a good game on Twitter, but it's like Facebook is so much better.
Oh, it's so much different. I mean, it's way better.
There's so much more you can do. Like I remember for our my first game I played was like the first like tribal challenge was like, okay, what's Survivor trivia? I'm like, all right, I'm good with that. Name the Survivor logo. All right, I can do that. And like my tribe won everything.
Yeah. Because I mean, you're so limited because half the people won't even show their face, so you can't even do like any kind of
Can't do video
challenge.
You're limited to puzzles, Survivor trivia, or like gimmick challenges. Basically, it's like it's not really a fair testament to like who is actually going to be good at like real.
I mean, my first Twitter game, I won 7 individual.
Yeah, you did.
I mean,
and you still didn't win.
I mean, I played James's game on Twitter. I won like almost every tribal immunity for my tribe.
Oh yeah, pre-merge. Yeah, you were dominant.
Well, because it was all Survivor trivia stuff, and then you got to merge and started doing like regular challenges.
I did other stuff. I was like, when I originally went in, I was like, I couldn't have one. Just too much Survivor trivia because like 2 to 3 people would win every challenge.
Yeah,
it would have been like you, Diego, and like Tony, basically every challenge.
Probably, yeah.
All right, but yeah, so Broski season 2, Vreeland gets the win. How were you feeling after that? Were you eager to play other games like right away, or were you like thinking?
I mean, it was pretty awesome to win, and then I mean, I immediately applied. I didn't want to really, but I ended up applying for SOG. And I thought like I'll go into that and people will see that I just won and I'll probably be screwed.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah.
But I mean that wasn't the case at all. So that game went fine. I mean I got blindsided at 6, but then I immediately played Torg right after that and got runner up again. And then Broski All Stars. I mean I just enjoy playing, but I've been taking a break now, but I do enjoy playing them. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah, so do you actually enjoy hosting more than playing, you would say?
Overall probably, but like both are great in their own ways. It's very different. Like when you're hosting, I just get, you just watch it all unfold. You're seeing everything, but there's no game stress. Like I'm not worried about getting voted out or anything like that. So it's like more chill, but it's different
and
in a way.
It's also like, to me, at least the one season I hosted, it's funny seeing everything unfold, but it's also like shitty seeing your friends like just get screwed over. That you
just have to watch it happen.
Like,
James was talking about me at Final 7.
Yeah, true.
You see moves happen. It's just like, yeah, like watching you in season 1 of Super Duper. I mean, we knew that Lynn was telling you to do the right thing. And it's just like, listen, James, just listen to her. And then you're like, let's vote Diane. And then it's like, all right, you're done for, James.
Game changing move.
Yeah. I mean, you probably win that season, honestly.
I think so. I mean, so I will defend how Katie and Lynn played to the end. They both played great too. But I just think that the jury,
the perception was higher on you.
I had better connections with better social game with the jury than they did. So
I mean, the perception was high on you.
That's what I thought.
If you vote to Lamuel there and he goes home, next vote Katie wins immunity and you guys vote out Seb, and then it's gonna be you, Lynn, Katie at the end probably.
Yeah.
And you probably win.
Yeah, I blew it.
You feel like me and Broski season 3?
I played a great game before that.
That's what I love so much about these Survivor games, because like every little thing changes the game completely so much. Like it's just like an example, like in All Stars of Super Duper. I mean, OJ had a no-brainer idle play at final 15, and if he plays it, Taryn goes home. But he doesn't play it, and Taryn ends up getting all the way to final tribal and getting second place. Like it's just so crazy how like every little thing can change the game so much and have such big impacts. I love it though.
I kicked myself in Broski because I had at final 8, Allison had a vote block, and I knew I had a very gut feeling that Anthony had an idol that he was going to play to save himself, and so I told Allison we should switch our votes and block his vote if he plays an idol, so Jess would go home instead of me. And then at the last second, I'm like, no, I think we're good. And then he plays the idol and I go home.
Yeah.
If we had put our 2 votes on Jess would have went home on the revote.
it's one of those things where it's like I don't know. You almost have to always trust your gut. Like I don't know. Like in my Broski win, for example, like at final 6, we were down 4-2 in numbers, me and Juliana, and
Yeah, I
I won immunity. And I played an idol to save her, and technically we would still be down 3-2 in numbers, but I trusted the connection I'd built with Sharon to make her flip on the next vote, and then she did, obviously.
And I think at that point, from my perspective too, who had just been voted out right before that, and I was with you guys, like I think you also knew if you played the idol on her, you were taking the chance that you could have won the last couple challenges, which
that was part of it.
You did, which would, I mean, great, but I still don't know how they didn't vote you at 5.
Mystery to everybody.
That's your winning move there, right there.
Yeah.
Just like what I told Vreeland, I thought my winning move was in season 3 of Super Duper.
What was that?
When they voted Ali out at final 6 instead of me.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened. I was stunned.
I was surprised by it as well.
Yeah. I mean, I remember you told me you were worried, but
well, because everyone had some like Taryn had an idol which she didn't tell us about, and she had a 50-50 coin. Derek had the fake idol that everyone believed he had.
Idol, yeah.
Someone else. Oh, Corey had a safety without power, and Caitlin had immunity. So it was me or Allie basically, and I'm like, "There's no way I'm surviving this vote."
Yeah, I always love Final 6 because it's always so crazy. Like even if there's not things out there, like in Super Duper All Stars, no one had a single thing at Final 6. Yet obviously everyone is like, what's going to get played because it's last chance. Stuff's going to get played. Like, what do we do? And it's just, I don't know.
You got to rock Joe instead.
Final 6 is awesome because like there's, even if, like you said, even if nothing's played, there's so much speculation about what is going to get played.
So much paranoia.
Like, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
Just do what I did at Final 6 and Roar. Just give up immunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wild.
I'm never doing that.
No, I will never do that.
I thought that over for days, and I'm like, this is the only way Caitlin and I survive this vote is if I win immunity and I give it to her. Because I know Allison won't vote me out. She'll vote Caitlin out in a heartbeat. So I was right. She told me she had her voting for Caitlin, and she had to switch it because I gave her immunity.
There's just no way I could ever do that in a game. I don't know. That's just,
it was a risk. If I didn't do that, she goes home and I go home the next time I lose immunity.
Yeah. I mean that's fair. I mean,
and we both ended up getting the final 3.
Yeah. Well, that was part of why I wanted to save Juliana too, was because like I knew she was never going to turn on me. So it was like, if I can save her and we're both still here, all I need is one person instead of needing 3 people to flip for no reason, which they're not going to do. It's just like not going to happen.
Yeah, well, the main problem in that game is I think like when I got voted out or when Ayla got voted out, which is the time before, we could have flipped one of them, but like they just were like, I don't know, Rico was just, it was so hard to see what he was going to do. And then even Sharon, a little bit of the time, it was so hard to see what she was going to do.
Yeah.
I knew once we voted out Kenny that John and Sarah weren't going to work with me again, but
I mean, and technically that should have been fine if not for the legacy extra vote, which is
I went to Rocks, and I mean like, so in the show and like in games, what's your opinion on Rocks? Like,
well, I have never gone to Rocks.
Neither have I. Michael, have you gone to Rocks?
No.
Neither have I.
I try and play the game in a way where I don't need to go to Rocks.
Oh no. But I would if I had to.
Depends on who it is.
It depends on who it is, how many people are left in the game. I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into it. How badly I need my allies. Like, there's so many factors that go into going to Rocks or not going to Rocks.
No,
depending on who my ally was, I would go to Rocks.
Yeah.
So
now, like when y'all went to Rocks at final 18 in Broski, there's
that's what I was going to bring up. So I went to Rocks then, but I technically didn't because Kenny played the idol for me, and then Sarah got the votes, and then we voted for Daryl. So it was between Kenny, Allison, and Frank, and so we had Kenny, and Sarah had a like 2 out of 3 chance that it was going to work for us. So Kenny rolled the dice on that, and it worked out. But that was that was ballsy.
Derek
That's
had
what
the
Derek
same
figured out.
odds
He
in
got
Final
screwed.
Six All-Stars. He was the one in verse 2, and it ended up being him anyways.
Yeah. And
So it doesn't always work out.
So let's go through that again too. Did anyone you think about changing their vote at all or no?
No, I mean they really didn't.
They were locked in.
I think it like if it had been different people at risk, people may have changed their votes.
Yeah.
But with who it was, nobody even considered it.
Because it was Kat and Taryn.
Kat and Taryn.
Yeah. People just stuck true to it.
And like for Taryn and Zach and Derek, going to Rocks had a better chance of working out for them. And it's just still didn't like.
Well, I mean, yeah, they had immunity plus the votes. So it was only, like I said, it was only one person.
It was a 2 out of 3 chance it would have been
and
or Michaela. Yeah.
The position they were in too.
They had
to go for it because Kat, Michaela, and Vin were so locked in together. Like they had to try and break that up, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah, I mean, I respect that they tried though. Like I remember, like you said, Blood versus Water when Hayden got Sierra to go to Rocks. It reminds me of that. It's like, like if you are the 4th person, if there's 6 people left and you're number 4, you might as well go with the other 2 and be 1 through 3. Yeah, it makes total sense. I mean,
I mean, they put themselves in the position to where if it hadn't been Derek, they have the majority on the next vote, and then they're fine. But
and then, what do you think? Do you think Zach might win the game at that point, or Derek?
It just depends on who gets it, because Kat ended up winning the final 5 immunity, so they wouldn't have been able to vote her. So I don't really know.
See if any of them will hear this later, but Zach, Taryn, Derek, final 3, who wins?
I think Zach does.
Zach, okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, but
he just played. He had. I mean, it would be interesting because Derek had, the winner card working in his favor, but Zach made a lot kind of crazy. So
he made big moves like throughout the game.
So his resume would have been stronger going into it. So I don't know. It would have been interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I was getting. I said like. I thought if Kat wasn't gonna win at like final 7, I was like, if this works in Zach's favor, he's probably gonna win. So
yeah, I mean, it was pretty much a lock that Kat, Zach, or Derek were gonna win.
Yeah,
the only thing that could have changed that, which I was kind of surprised, was that Taryn could have went to fire against Kat, and then she would have won if she beat her in fire. But she didn't do that.
Yeah, then you still would have had to worry about Biggs and someone else just throwing votes like wherever, just for no reason.
Crazy people. Absolute crazy people.
So what would you say? All right. No offense like to these rankings at all. How would you rank your first 5 seasons of Super Duper? 1 to 5.
Like just based on like watching and enjoying it happen?
Yeah.
Oh, that's tough. I mean, All Stars is definitely 1. That it was just start to finish great, like all around. I'd probably say it's so tough between 2 and 1 for me. But I'll go that order. Season 2, season 1, and then season 3, season 4.
So season 4 is last.
Yeah, I mean, it was too messy. I mean, Robbie was a headache a lot of times. Jared L quitting at final 7, or only quit, is just a disaster.
And I mean, honestly, I thought you guys had a great cast for that season. It was just really, like you said, it was really messy. But
right, that was the issue. I mean, there was a lot of great players. It was just a mess.
You had a lot of good players go pre-merge.
Yeah, I mean, Storm went pre-merge because his tribe lost 18 challenges in a row.
Kate went pre-merge.
It was a mess. Like, yeah, Kate went I mean, it was a mess.
Yeah, and it was like, I guess the other seasons, like season 1, there was no like battle back or anything, and then season 2 you had the Outcast thing, but they didn't win. So
They
like
didn't win. Yeah.
most of the people that made the merge on 1 and 2, I think, were the people that deserved to be there. I think season 1, your boy Nick got robbed. I think
He definitely did.
if he had made the merge, he would have been a dangerous player. And
Well, it was funny. The day of his vote that morning, I was like, dang, I think Nick's pretty much a lock to get final 6 or 7.
I thought too.
I was like, he's a lock, and he's in a great position. And then Jake just blew up his own game and Nick's game for no apparent reason. It made no sense at all.
He saved Lemuel.
Yeah, I mean, it made the move made no sense whatsoever. It
Yeah.
blew Katie's extra vote for no reason. The whole thing was just a disaster. It made no sense, and he did it anyways. And it's like, okay, well, Nick's gone now, so that was.
So
wow.
I'm saying like, first 2 seasons, he was like, in my opinion, the only like real robbed like pre-merge person.
Yeah,
but then you said in season, I don't know about season 3, you could ask Michael, but season 4, you had some good people go pre-merge. Like,
oh
yeah. Just based on the fact that one tribe is winning like too many challenges. And
I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean, it was so many different types of challenges too. I mean, we had like a physical like push-up, sit-up challenge. We had an app game challenge. We had a puzzle challenge. I mean, they were just losing all of them. It's like, what are y'all good at? Like, what are y'all good at? We're giving you so many different things. Win something. Like,
didn't Robbie never go to tribal pre-merge either?
Yeah.
Brandon didn't either.
Yeah.
And Brandon, yeah.
Neither one of them did.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think season 3. Oh, your boy Ralph went pre-merge in season 3. Vreeland's #1 pick.
Yikes. He's a Twitter star.
Vreeland, you would have won if you picked someone else instead, because I was your second pick.
Yeah.
So I was talking to Paul like a few weeks ago or whatever. And we were just, I don't know how, somehow it came up about Ralph, and he was like, yeah, like the guy's so good on Twitter and he's not good on Facebook. And I was like, yeah, I don't know why. And he's like, it's because he's a keyboard warrior, and like the keyboard warriors are only good on Twitter. Like they can't personally connect with people like on Facebook.
I think that's definitely a part of it too.
Yeah.
But he was connecting pretty well at first in season 3. Like you had like the rooster thing, I think.
Yeah,
Michael.
me, him, OJ, and Andy.
Yeah. I mean, he was fine. And then all of a sudden the swap happened, and OJ turned the game on its head and flipped Jester, and then Ralph ended up going home, and it was wild. It was so interesting because OJ and Caitlyn swapped into like a numbers deficit, and then OJ had the abandoned ship, which we've still only seen happen once. But instead of using that, he made up that he had a steal vote and got people to flip, and it was just like, wow, it was wild.
I was so happy my tribe never went to tribal at that time.
Yeah. I don't know what would happen for y'all. I can't remember. I think
me, Andy, and Taryn were convinced Eric was going to flip on us.
Yeah, you were. But no, it's been fun hosting. I'm excited for this next season too. It'll be fun. We got some new ideas planned, so it'll be cool.
So I know the theme, but tell us the theme for people that haven't seen it that are listening.
Yeah, we got Warzone on tap. It's kind of more of a generic type theme, I guess, in a way. Like there's not going to be a ton of stuff based around that, but at the same time there is some stuff like kind of around that, and I don't know, it's going to be fun. Like I said, we have some new twists planned and stuff, so it'll be cool to see how it plays out. I'm pretty excited for it.
So how's the application process going so far? You guys been getting a lot of apps and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually surprised because like I was telling Michael before we started, there's like 4 or 5 games casting at the same time right now, and we were like the last ones to get our app up of any of them. So I was kind of worried, like all these people are going to be, already applying to all these other games, but we've had plenty of people still.
So I think like you guys just came off a good all-star season. You got over 1,000 members now. Like I think your org has been highly like recommended from people who've played it, not just like from our inner circle, but like people that we didn't really know before that have played it, like really enjoy it. So I think the word's gotten out there more, and I think the turnout of applications is probably really good following up
Yeah,
post
no,
All-Star
it's
season.
been way better than I expected. With, like I said, with all these other apps already out there, I was worried about it, but we've gotten plenty of apps, so it's been awesome, and I'm pretty pumped for it. And then yeah, we have a lot of fun seasons planned. It's gonna be great.
So without like spoiling anything, like, so what returnee seasons would you like to do in the future? Like just
Oh,
theme.
there's so many options.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you have the ones from the show like Second Chance and Heroes versus Villains.
Yeah.
I mean, you have all those that you can
Blood
go.
versus water.
Yeah, I mean, you have that. Yeah. And like there's even more like different ones that you can go with too. Like, I don't know, the best strategists to play or the best challenge people to play. That you can come up with any type of theme, really, if you think about it. So
idol hunter, something.
right. I mean, there's so many different things you can come up with. So but we already have, we have like a list already planned out with certain seasons and everything. So it's gonna be fun. We have a lot of seasons planned though. So it's gonna be fun.
And are you guys gonna continue? Like, I know you're taking a little more time between All-Stars and this season, but you're gonna keep them going pretty much. Like,
yeah. Well, we were actually gonna take a longer break for this one, but some conflicting things made us push it up, make it a little sooner, because we didn't want to take too long of a break and then it'd be like 2 months where we don't have a season. So
yeah. So yeah, some of the orgs are kind of like inconsistent with when they're putting them out, but I mean, it's fine though. It's like people got things to do. I mean,
we've pretty much stuck to like between a week and 3 weeks in between each season so far. It really just depends, like, because we try and plan around playing our own games, because like we both played and hosted during Torg, and I mean it was really difficult, and like luckily, I mean, well, luckily for me, Tony went kind of early in that, so he was able to handle most of the hosting.
Yeah, I remember that was my season that happened.
Right, I was focused on Torg a good bit. I mean, I was still doing stuff, but not as much as I normally would be.
And then finale week of of season 3 was the start of Broski All-Stars.
Oh man, that week was so dreadful for me. I had the finale of Torg.
How do you think it felt? Oh, you had another finale.
Yeah, I had the finale of Torg, the finale of hosting season 3, and the first week of Broski All-Stars. Like, that week was just awful.
Every day that week, I was going to 2 tribals a night.
Yeah. And all right, could you guys agree with me on this? I'll say this, like, after playing a good amount of orgs, I think the first night might be your most important, like,
100%.
night.
Oh, it's crucial. It's crucial to go ahead and get those bonds right off the bat, because they set
you
up
need to talk to everybody.
Yeah. I mean, they set up the game in a big way, because if you don't have those connections off the rip, like, you're already on the outs basically.
Yeah. And like, you can't be looking like too sketchy. You can't, like, you have to talk to everyone without making everyone think you're telling them the same thing. Like, you have to find like a group of people that you're all on the same page and you're telling the other people the same thing, but it's like, it's difficult.
Finding the balance point in these games is like the most like important thing, and I don't know, I've seemed to do okay with it, but like overall, you have to find that balance of talking to everybody but not being like too out there. You have to find the balance of doing plenty to be enough to win the game at the end, but not be a target at final 7 or final 8 because you're a threat. Like it's such a fine line the entire game of like, I don't know, doing enough but not doing too much. It's tough.
Yeah, I remember I felt like that after Super Duper, because I thought I had done enough to win. If I got to the end and then I lost, I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do, because I usually get seen as the big threat and get taken out.
Right, you did too much in Broski season 3, so you got voted out as a threat. Then you tried to play a little more low key and didn't do it, and then you ended up not getting the votes to win. So it's like,
I think at the final 3 was different. I might have won.
Yeah.
If it was Corey sitting there instead of Taryn, I think I win.
No, see, that's what I think. The perfect spot to be in, like in orgs and in the show, is like you go to final 4 or 5 with someone in your alliance that is a bigger threat than you. So if you're like vulnerable, they're going to be targeted before you.
I utilized that in Broski season 2. Like I knew I was you know about that. I mean, nobody knew who I was, so I played like this.
Oh yeah,
I'm bad
and
at
I knew who
challenges.
you were.
I'm an idiot. Like all
Yeah.
this stuff, I just played up, and I knew that Ayla was getting viewed as the bigger threat because she was talking to everybody. So
And we were gonna take her out.
Right. So I planned on taking her out later in the game, but I knew if something did happen, like an idol get played or an extra vote, I knew it wasn't going to be me that got targeted. It was going to be her. So it's like having that person to, take that fall is like, it's really good too.
And then even like after she went out, I was going to be targeted before you because I was the flipper that.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I don't know. Just finding that right position. Like Lynn almost did it with you in season 1.
Yeah.
Because she had you got taken out by the idol play. If she just votes Seb out the next tribal, she wins the game. But
yeah, and I literally told her that after the game. I said, "What were you doing? Like, you easily win the game if you take him out."
I have no idea why Seb was not voted out at Final 5.
Yeah,
it was the clear move for everybody, and nobody voted him.
Yeah, but like you said, what Lynn did was perfect. Like she was playing a great game, but she had me, who I was viewed as like a bigger threat, and when that, like you said, when something crazy happens, the bigger threat's going to be targeted, and then
you got idled out instead of her. I mean, and that set her up to win.
Even after that, she wasn't in position to just be like the next boot or anything. It was like she still had a great shot to get to the end, and she did. And it was just happened to be that Sebastian also played a game kind of from the bottom, but was a great game.
Yeah.
And people like respect that game a lot.
Yeah.
There was a question I had of, I know towards like the end of season 3 was, who was more viewed as the bigger threat, me or Taryn? Because I knew that everyone knew the two of us were together.
I thought you were being viewed as the bigger threat, even though, I mean, like, me and Tanya were really high on Taryn that season because we thought she had the most balanced game of everybody. But yeah, y'all were kind of similar. I didn't think Derek was getting viewed that highly. I mean, people were knocking his social game. He'd already been voted out. I mean, the only the main thing people had up for him was that he was really good at challenges. And then, I don't know, he ended up getting the most votes. It was kind of surprising. But like I said on our post game, though, he definitely showed
he played so well in All Stars.
He balled in All Stars.
Yeah, he was such a different player. Like his social game was so different.
Yeah. Even the short time I played with him, he got everyone to think I had the idol when he was the one who had the idol.
Yeah, I mean, nobody was saying him. I mean, everybody was saying it was you that had
it. Exactly. And then even beyond that, like I said, he lost allies. He had to flip to get to certain points, and he still, like, if that rock draw goes the other way and he somehow gets Zach out of the game, he easily wins
again.
Yeah. I mean, he put himself, and I mean, it's so hard to put yourself in that position where you have a shot at winning after you've already won. Like, I don't know. It's difficult, but
I mean, you did it on Broski.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
You were a challenge away from winning Broski All Stars.
I was, but
we shouldn't get more into that, but I mean,
stupid game, annoying. I was so frustrated with that. I never thought I would get that close. Like going into that, I mean, I knew people viewed me as like a really high threat because I won season 2. I made final 6 of SOG and made final tribal of Torg all before that season started. So I was like, okay, I'm going to be, if I can make merge, I'll be happy. And then the way it played out, I mean, I was able to get right there, one challenge away. And I'm facing, people that I'm no offense to anybody, that I didn't view very highly as like in a challenge regard. So I was like, I can probably win this. And then I flop and don't win the challenge.
Yeah. So my thing with that season is like, I think going in, I was like, the winners were obviously all big threats, but I thought you might have been the biggest threat out of any of the winners. And I was like, Vreeland's going to make like merge and then go like right after that. Even when that's what I out, I was like, Vreeland probably will make merge and then go soon after that. But somehow you got yourself in a position to like, if, like you said, if you had just won the last challenger fire, you would have won the game easily.
Yeah, and that's the worst part about it too, is knowing like, all I had to do was win the challenge. And it was unfortunate. And like I knew nobody was gonna take me. Like me and Ashley were together the entire game. Like we were all swaps, the whole merge. We worked together basically. And I mean, I knew she wasn't gonna take me. I mean, she straight up said like, my best chance to win is to not take you. I'm gonna take Cameron. I was like, all right. I mean, I knew it was coming.
Understandable, yeah.
Right. I mean, I wasn't mad. Like it sucked, but I was like, yeah. I mean, that totally makes sense, and it clearly worked out for her because she won the game after I lost fire making. So
I feel like the night I got voted out in that game totally changed everything.
yeah, your night was crazy. I mean, I think that's the only. Well, no, I've done it a few times, but I straight posted a video in main chat.
I remember because I saw it right before I had to leave the main chat.
I was like, "Oh, anybody wants to work with me? Let's do it." And it actually worked because Lane said after he saw that, like he was more open to working with me, and I got every piece of information from his side after that with working with him. So it actually kind of worked in a way. It helped me out a lot, and he kind of kept me like safe on a lot of the votes they were doing, and I was keeping him safe on our side. So it was like working for both of us. But
how was the peace treaty that game?
The peace treaty. I mean, we all stuck to it. It literally said we won't vote each other for 3 tribals.
3 votes.
None of us voted each other for 3 tribals, and then
Biggs just took out Farrah's 2 biggest allies.
Right, right after that, Farrah went home after the peace treaty ended. It was funny. I mean, I had no power at the start of the merge, so I was just doing like whatever I could to like stay in the game and build connections. It's just like, I mean, Biggs will even tell you, all I did was sit there like talk him up about how great he was and all this, and fed his ego. And it was just funny, but he would get so mad.
The crazy thing was that like, besides you and Kenny, all the old like season 1, 2 people, besides Cameron, once Cameron,
Dion went at the merge,
complete fucking goat. Besides him, like everyone else was gone. Yeah, pre-merge.
Well, it was funny because Final 12, there was 3 people from season 1 or 2. 3.
Yeah, it was Cameron from season 1, then you and Kenny from season 2. Everyone else was 3 and 4.
And then at Final 5,
3
still 3. Like we were all still there. None of us.
Well, because me, Jordan, and Farrah got voted out back to back to back.
Yeah,
and that knocked out all the season 3s except Laura.
And then we knocked out the season 4 people like all in a row. Like it was, we went Biggs, Dom, Laura. Well, Laura was season 3, but she was basically season 4.
Yeah, and then Lane.
So I mean, it was like all season 4s back to back, except for Ashley and Michael. But
so do you guys agree with me on this? I think so. If you're doing All-Star season 5, the season 4 people kind of have an edge because they just played together. Like, did you see that?
It kind of depends. I mean, like the season 4 people from our game, it wasn't so much because they just played it. Like they're actually like friends.
Yeah.
They play games together outside, like not Survivor games, like other games together.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. I think in a way, possibly, but like, it's also just, I mean, they were just close in their season. Like the season 3 people were kind of close too.
Yeah, we got targeted for it.
Yeah, your season was the least closest.
Yeah, season 1 was, so like I said, the one person that was really tight with was Lynn, who didn't play.
Yeah.
And that hurt me. And then Katie, I was tight with on my season, but we didn't talk like as much between the game. Yeah. And that kind of hurt me. So season 1, yeah,
I think season 1 would have been tight if Lynn and Laura did accept their invites.
It would have been better, yeah.
It just changed. It changed everything so much. Yeah. Because Biggs and Max, neither one of them were worried about working with season 1 at all.
Oh, fuck no, yeah. But it's what are you saying?
Obviously I loved everyone from my season. I hated that we were all in the same tribe except Derek.
Yeah.
So I feel like that put a big target on the 4 of us.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how, I mean, it was a random wheel. It sucked that it worked out that way for you guys. Because honestly, like, people built y'all up as closer than y'all really were. Like, you and Taryn were close, and OJ and Caitlin were close. But, like, as a group of 4, it wasn't that close, really.
Yeah, so I also think, like, I mean, in Broski All-Stars, I got started with Kenny and Sarah, and then I got swapped with them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that
you
totally
really
sucked
sucked me. Like, you don't
And
want
everybody
to,
knew.
like, in an all-star season, you totally don't want to be with like the people you've already played with.
Yeah.
And
And that's what I told Biggs and Brandon. It was so stupid that they were like working together again. It's like everybody knows about y'all. Like,
exactly.
and that's part of why Brandon got voted out was because of that. They were using the same connections. Like, all right, well, I'm not gonna let this continue. So
yeah,
I was lucky enough on my season where like season 3 going in was really tight on Broski, but I was like, we all didn't get stuck together. Like my first tribe, I was just with Jay. My second one, I was just with Farrah. My third one, I was just with Jordan.
Your biggest issue was that everybody knew about you and Farrah, and then I don't know if the Jordan thing would have been as big if y'all weren't hosts together.
Yeah, and we had like just started too.
Right, so everybody kind of like knew about y'all.
You should have waited till you guys both got voted out to start.
we were too excited to start.
I mean, and that's such an interesting thing too, because you guys were like trying to play it down, like, oh, we're hosting together, but like it's not going to be like. But like,
I didn't say anything about it.
Well,
the people who totally knew, I didn't say anything.
Yeah, well,
he voted him out already before too, right?
Yeah, I voted him out in season 3.
And but like the thing is, like everybody just assumes you're close. Like, anyways, I mean, it's just like no matter what you do, people are going to assume you're close. And it's just like, exactly. Like, I mean, Tony clearly wasn't working with me very tightly in Broski, but still got like pegged together. But
yeah, I wish he told me about his idol because he would have survived that night.
I didn't even know about his idol. I found out after. I was like, oh, okay. Well,
I like how you and I are supposed to be his 2 top allies, and he was trying to blindside us both.
I have no idea what's going on. I don't know who he's voting. I don't know he has an idol. Like, I don't know anything he's doing. And it's just like, what are you doing, dude?
You guys know where he found that too, right?
He found it during one of our tribe when we voted.
The Ayla vote out. There
was a star on Damien's.
Yep, it was on Damien's picture at the tribal.
It's so fun hiding idols. We did things so differently in All Stars. We had stuff hidden every which way in like so many different ways. Other than the tribe idols, those were the same as usual. Yeah. But outside of that, I mean, we had so many new ones. It was a lot of fun.
You didn't have I am an idol.
No, we didn't have that. We didn't have that. Although that person, that Facebook user or whatever account is in our group, and we had people send it in like, is this an idol? I was like, no, it's not an idol. Oh gosh.
What I mean, their other one I think was called Bo Steed, like Busted Bo Steed.
Yeah, they had all kinds of different stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, but you can't find any of those without like a clue, I don't think.
No. I mean, I would have never thought to look like that.
Yeah, just go in the like friends group or the friends like section or member section of the page and say like idol.
Yeah,
type that in.
That would not.
That's like the only way you could have found it, basically.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna let my dog go. Ugh. All right. So, Org Talk. Good on Org Talk?
Yeah,
it's getting some sports talk.
Yeah. Okay.
So is it for your work? You work with like some stuff like sports stuff, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a fantasy expert. I write content. I answer questions. All right. So I have like 2 parts to it. Like I'm a site producer. So on that side of things, I will edit and post other people's work that they send in. I keep the site like looking the way it's supposed to look. You know, I change stuff around, make everything look good, answer everybody's question. We have a live chat. I answer all their questions like, who do I play tonight? This or that, whatever. So that's that part. And then the other part is like, I'm a writer. I write a ton of content, like every day type of stuff, like MLB DFS. I mean, I'll write entire like playbooks, break down every position and everything like that. So it's a lot of fun.
And I follow you on Twitter. You tweet out all the lineups and what's wrong with them.
Yeah. Oh, I always have issues with the lineups.
Oh, I love that because
every Cleveland Indians lineup you put out, it's always like, oh, Jimenez should be batting up here. Why is he sitting today? For whoever the dude's name was, he was hitting like 140.
Yu Chang is terrible. He gets out every time he hits. Like, I don't understand why he's playing.
That's lefty crusher Yu Chang to you.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, I'm with you. All right. So, like, old school baseball, we'll talk about, like, you always bat your best overall hitter third and your best power hitter fourth. But nowadays, I feel like maximize those at bats. Like, put your fucking best hitter second and put your best on base guy first, no matter what.
No, I mean, I get it. And that's one thing that's always been so funny to me is like people complain so much, like Mets fans, about Nemo batting leadoff. Oh, he only hits 250. Yeah. I don't care. He gets on base
percentage
400.
Really
400. Like the guy walks a ton. Like he's perfect to bat leadoff. What do you mean? Like it's not all about the basic batting average stat. Like he gets on base in front of the guys that are supposed to be hitting for power.
Can't be like DJ LeMahieu who hits 350. He's not hitting it this year, but
no, he will. He always does.
That's Stanton who's hitting 300s right now.
Yeah, Stanton's crazy hot right now.
I can't believe it.
I mean, he was batting like 150 or something like a week ago. Now he's hitting.
Now it's over 300. Last I looked.
Yeah. Literally every day he's getting 2 or 3 hits. Like it's nuts.
And one of those is usually a homer.
Yeah, I wish the Mets would start hitting. Can
we talk about the Astros coming to Yankee Stadium this week?
I heard all about it.
Yeah.
All the booing and everything.
Oh, they deserve it.
Yeah, I mean, I won't disagree with that. They definitely do.
Those in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, is what I'm saying. Fuck the
I don't know what you were referring to.
Well,
I'm not saying the Yankees are cheaters, but fuck the Yankees.
What I find funny about it is like, yeah, the Astros, what they did was bad, but like every team is like cheating in one way or another. Like
not every team has cameras set up in center field and monitors in their
dugouts. Well, right. Obviously what they did was worse, but it's like all these players are complaining like, oh, I can't believe they did that. Meanwhile, like it'll be a pitcher making that complaint. Meanwhile, he's got like pine tar all up in his glove and he's breaking rules. And like, it's just like, okay, well, I mean,
I think what MLB busted the Red Sox for was bogus.
Yeah.
Because to me, like that wasn't cheating. I think they got hit with that because they got caught cheating with the Apple Watches earlier.
Well, what's so funny to me is like, all right, no one on the Astros even got suspended at all.
That was ridiculous.
No players did. And then the other day I see Amir Garrett gets suspended 7 games for getting pumped up and talking crap to the Cubs about getting them out. And it's just like, oh, he made the benches clear. There was not even like fist thrown or anything.
And like Carlos Beltran is still canceled as a manager because
he's still blackballed.
Yeah.
That was so ridiculous. They called him out. I'm like, you just did that so you wanted the Mets to fire him.
I mean,
it was so funny. I was so pumped about that hire. Literally,
me too. I love Carlos Beltran.
Yeah. Week later, he gets fired. It's like, okay, we didn't even get to see him coach a single game. Later.
Only the Mets would hire a manager and he wouldn't manage a single game.
That's how I felt. I was like texting everybody. I'm like, yeah, like Carlos Beltran, one of my favorite Mets of all time. I'm so excited we hired him. Yeah. And then it's like a week later. Yep.
Fired.
He resigned. Yeah, whatever.
And that's one of those moments where I probably tweeted, "That's so Mets," because I love saying "That's so Mets" about every stupid thing that involves the Mets. Like
so many of them.
I mean, I can't go a single game without complaining about not being able to hit with runners in scoring position.
Oh, I know. I follow you on Twitter.
It's like it drives me insane.
Or how many times the Mets don't score for DeGrom.
You follow me on Twitter too, Michael. You see, yeah.
I poke fun at you two all the time about the Mets.
It's so bad. Like I don't know. Our pitching has been so great, and our record still sucks because our offense is.
Well, your $341 million shortstop sitting $163 right now.
Not even. Oh no, never mind. He did.
After today, it's $163.
Right. Yeah.
He got a hit.
It went up. Okay. It's just like, dude, come on. Like he looks lost too. It's like so. It's not just a $160. It's like a bad $163.
So at first, he was hitting like hard line drives, like kind of getting unlucky. But like you said, the last couple weeks, he looks lost. He's just popping
up, striking out, weak ground. I mean, nothing is hit well at all.
Nothing.
Like, it's bad. It's so bad.
I went to the game with my uncle last week when they played the Red Sox, and he got booed in the 8th inning when he grounded out. And I'm like, okay, these people make fun of Yankee fans for booing people so quickly.
Yeah, it did not take long, but like,
even though I was at the opening day in 2018 when we booed Stanton on opening day for striking out 5 times.
Yeah, he needs to get moved down in the lineup at this point. I don't care that
he can't be hitting first or second.
Mil. Like,
yeah,
he's killing us in an important part of the lineup. Like, just bad. I don't care. He's making a ton of money. Let him figure it out hitting 7th or 8th, and then once he does, he can come back up. But like right now, it's dreadful.
He's costing you guys games.
Oh yeah, like he's just. I mean, he's coming up with opportunities every time and not getting it done ever. Like,
that's a lot of money you're investing to someone to not come through.
To never come through, yeah. You got a hole in your wall, James. Were you mad?
He was practicing his pitching after DeGrom got hurt.
Gave it a little punch in the wall. I've seen people do that.
Mm-hmm. Maybe Tony after he got voted out of All-Stars.
No, I mean, maybe I didn't see it, but I did have a roommate.
He probably put a picture of me on his wall and punched it.
Oh, he was so mad at you. He was so mad at you, and it's just like it was crazy to me because like he was trying to do stuff behind your back, and then he was still. Mad.
I know, but that's the crazy thing is like I found out, and I'm like, dude, don't lie to me.
Yeah, I mean,
and like, how many times has he hosted me? Well, it was 3 then.
3 to 4 now.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I'm like, come on.
It was just a mess. I'm glad Tony's going to believe that I had no idea because I literally didn't have any idea.
Oh, well, because we didn't want to tell you we were voting Tony out.
Right. I mean, well, it's funny because like Tony didn't want to tell me he was voting fair because I didn't want to do that. You guys didn't want to tell me you were voting Tony because I wouldn't want to do that. So everybody just told me nothing, basically. I went into that tribal. I was like, I'm voting.
Well, I also knew you were getting your vote stolen, so.
Right. Oh, yeah. And it didn't even matter. But I was like, I'm voting Cam, but I'm pretty sure it's not Cam based on how everyone's acting. And then my vote gets stolen. I'm like, oh, crap. Is it me? And then it ends up being Tony. It's just wild.
I told Tony he should have told him about the idol. That night would have been so different.
You talking about the Tony boot?
In All-Stars, yeah.
Oh.
That game would have been so different because I would have, if I knew he had an idol, I was making a move that night.
Yeah.
Because I would have had his life in the game in my hands.
And he was so dumb too because he was trying to like act like we had to make some other move because I think he was saying Michael had the idol, and it's just like, bro, you have the idol. What do you mean? Like we can make better plays if you just like are honest about things. Like I don't understand. He's a disaster. He just plays a messy game. I don't like messy games.
Well, the one time I played him before, he wasn't messy.
Yeah,
him and I played James's game, and that was just basically what the game happened was just they did what two of us said.
Tony played it pretty chill that game, actually, I think.
Every game
he had me as the big shield in front of him.
Yeah, then he's gonna kill me when he hears this, but Tony's also like every time I talk to him, he's like, yeah, every time I play without Vreeland, I'm good. When I play with Vreeland, I get fucked in.
Yeah, well, because he plays like an idiot. I mean, I try and like work with him and trust him, and then he just does all this stuff behind my back, and then he gets sent home, and I'm like, all right, well, fine. If you're not, on my side, whatever. Bye. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. He's crazy, and I don't play. I try and not play a messy game, and like the people I work with, I like when they don't play a messy game. So it's like, I don't know.
No, I remember after Broski All-Stars, I was like worried that I wasn't going to get asked back for Super Duper All-Stars. He's like so mad at me. I'm like,
oh, he didn't want to at first. Trust me.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, he didn't want you back. He was so mad at you. I mean, he was fine with it, but like I had to at first. It was like, no, we're having Michael back. He's like, dude, I don't want Michael back. He annoyed me. Like I was like, dude, get over it. It's like a completely different thing. Like you can't have your game in All-Stars affect our hosting decisions. Like, I don't know. He was just so mad. He's just all up for Farrah, trying to help her win. It's like, yeah.
That seriously was not what I was trying to do.
I know. I mean, the whole thing was just a mess. It was bad. It was so bad.
You know how like some games put like the who do you not want to play with like ever again and like their thing? Yeah. I'm pretty sure if that was the case, like Tony might write Farrah's name.
Oh, he definitely would. Yeah. On every single one, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 100% sure that in any game they're in together, they're gonna just like vote each other until one of them is out of the game.
Oh yeah.
I knew because I knew the two of them didn't like each other. I'm like, no, you two have to work with each other because I've like both of you trust me 100%. Like you're gonna work this out.
And I wanted to work with both of them too. And
I know you did. The both of us were trying to get them to work together, and they're both like, no.
Right. What he said was, because I went to Exile Island that day, and what he said was,
Right.
I wasn't there. We couldn't talk. So he was like, you weren't there to talk me off the ledge of going for Farah. So I spent the whole day trying to make this Farah move happen with that.
He wasn't gonna tell you anyway.
I know, but had I been there, he said I would have been able to talk him like out of doing, because I had been saying he'd been talking about it for like 3 tribals already. Like, I want to get Farah out as second we can. It's like, no, stop. Like, we're winners. She's a winner. Why do you want to take out a winner at final 18 or whatever we're at right now? Like,
he should have waited. Should have not done it on like that first swap.
It should have been the second swap if he wanted to go after like what you did with Brandon.
Yeah, and I mean, it was a perfect opportunity for me to go after Brandon because I knew I had the numbers to do it and everything.
I was so worried when Damien said in the main chat, like, "Oh, second winner out." I'm like, "Fuck, Vreeland just got voted out."
I knew everyone was going to think it was me because technically I was like down in the numbers. I guess there was like
because you also said Kenny and Big saying in the main chat all the time, "Vote out Vreeland, vote out Vreeland,
I know.
vote out Vreeland."
Spamming the main chat every second.
So
what are y'all doing? You haven't voted out Vreeland yet.
At that point on the pre-jury chat, we honestly thought that like you and Brandon would have worked together as winners and had like 1 or 2 other people, and Dion or like Ashley would have been like the easy boot. We thought it was going to be easy.
That was supposed to be what happened.
So so when I heard you made a move on Brandon, I was like that was the right move, of course.
I mean, I don't like.
And for him, it would have been the right move to make a move on you. Like it would have been dumb to just put out like the easy vote. Really.
What I tell people all the time is play to win the game. Yeah. I could have stuck with Brandon and easily made merge and lasted a few votes with his big alliance of people and then been voted out and had no chance of winning. But that's not how I play the game. Like I can't play the game like that. Like people play it safe and then have no chance of winning. And it's like, why? What is the point of that? What's the difference between 7th place and 11th place or
None.
2nd place and 4th? I mean, they're all bad. If you don't win, you don't win. Yeah. Like play to win. I mean,
like I understand laying low, like beginning, like pre-merge, whatever. But once you make the merge, you got to make moves to win.
You got yeah. I mean, you have to start playing the game. Like, I mean,
where you're not going to be perceived well. Like,
no, you can't just keep laying low and laying low. Like, it just won't. What ends up happening is you lay so low that nobody wants to vote you to win.
Yeah.
Which again is finding that balance. Like you laid low too long. No, I wasn't, but that's what happened. You laid low too long, and then it was like, all right, we're gonna vote someone else.
That's like I'll say we just did Survivor Fiji last week, and Earl, like Yao-Man was the big threat. He was with him at Final Four. They're not going for Earl; they're going for Yao-Man.
Right, and he played that very smart because
exactly, and that's how you got to do it. Just like Millennials, Gen X, Adam did the same thing. Like he went to Final Four with David. As long as David doesn't win that final challenge,
take him out.
Adam's not getting voted out. David's getting voted out.
Yeah, it's smart. I mean, you do run a risk there because if Yao-Man does win that challenge, I think he wins the game over Earl for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
So that is the risk you run. But at the same time, if he doesn't, you're going to win if you are smart enough to understand like your position in the game, which a lot of people don't understand their position in the game very well, which is part of the problem, I think. But
or it just stinks like when you know your position in the game and there's still like nothing you can do about it, like towards the end.
Yeah. Well, if it gets too late in the game, it's like a lose-lose spot too. Which is kind of how like it was kind of how Vin was in our game. Like no matter what he did at the end of the game, it wouldn't matter. Like if he flipped on the revote and took out Kat, he still isn't going to beat Taryn, Zach, or Derek. So it's like no matter what he did, it wasn't going to matter really at that point. He waited too long.
And I mean, it also shows you perception is pretty much everything too.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, perception is so important. Like it's almost more important than actually like what your resume even is.
It is, yeah. And I mean, usually your resume kind of lines up with the perception of the game, but it's like if it's a little bit off, the other people's perception of yourself is a lot more important than
Yeah.
how you actually played the game.
Well, like I mean, like you and Lynn had similar resumes, in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
but your perception was higher than hers. If y'all went to the end together, you would have won.
exactly. Like she might have been a little more strategic, and I was more social. So it was like that's why the perception is like it's everything.
Yeah. No, I mean,
social definitely beats strategic all the time because Taryn got more votes than me at the end, and that was definitely our thing. She was more social, I was more strategic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I mean, I would say like the social game is really important in real Survivor. I would almost say it's even more important in these online games.
It is. It really is.
And it is so crucial, like to everything. I mean, it is just so important. Especially since like people can't see you, you know, walking off and talking to people or anything like that, like they can in the real show. In this, like you just have to like talk to people, even if it's nothingness. You just have to. You have to keep putting yourself in people's minds. Like,
you mean not purposely ignoring someone at Final 9 like I did?
Exactly. Exactly. It was so funny to me too because you were talking about how you were ignoring and how it was like kind of funny, and I was like, okay, but you realize if you're at the end and he's on the jury, like he's probably not going to vote you. Like, I don't know. It's like you always have to keep everything in mind all the time.
Yeah, and I was totally just like, all right, I'm fucking done with him. Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
And I realized I probably shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of 9 votes right away already gone.
No, I mean, your best bet is to be good at all aspects of the game. I mean,
yeah.
Socially, strategically, and good at challenges like you are, Justin, I'm saying. But it's like, I'm not that good at challenges, but I could, I guess, like play a good enough game socially and strategically to win if I'm even
well, I mean people don't put much weight in challenges, but like they can be so important though, because like I don't know. I mean,
Derek.
they can say, I mean, Derek, I mean, basically won him season 3. And I mean, it can just save you if you're going home, like it can save you. And the thing with the thing with Survivor, like it literally can change on an instant so quickly. The whole game can change. So every time you survive one vote, like everything can be different the next one. Like, because I in Broski All-Stars, like I was on the block heavy at final 11, I think, or final 10. When did you go, Michael? It was the one after
12.
12. Okay, so at the final 11, I was like on the block heavy. I won that challenge immunity, and then they had to vote differently, and that made everybody open their eyes finally, like, oh, wow, this alliance is together. We should probably flip on them. I was like, yeah, you probably should. Like, thank you.
And then Jordan plays an alpha bigs.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was a mess, but
disaster.
Yeah, but that was the move. Jordan going home that night, it was the move that opened the eyes for Ashley, Michael, Kenny, to where they were like, oh, Lane, Dom, Laura, Biggs have their own thing going on. Like, we need to get away from this.
I told Biggs that his mistake was voting me out when he did, because I wasn't going after him for a while.
Well, I mean, again, that night I thought that was the one night like I was completely lost. Other than Tony's boot, those were the 2 nights. Tony's boot and your boot. Nobody told me Ashley or your name that entire night.
So
Cameron.
So Tony's boot, your vote was stolen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dom stole his vote.
So after your vote was stolen, though, did you kind of suspect something or no?
I mean, I was a little worried. I messaged Dom and Ashley, and they were both like, "Nah, you're good. I promise." I was like, "Okay," because I knew, like I said, going into that, I knew the vote wasn't Cameron. I knew that it wasn't him. I just didn't. I knew it was probably Tony or Farrah or somebody that people knew I didn't want to vote out.
If Tony wasn't trying to be slick, Cameron's name would not have gotten written down.
Right, and I was like, okay, I don't know who's going home, but it's not who they're saying. But I didn't really think it was me, because I kind of felt good with most of the people on my tribe. And I knew I wasn't doing anything to where they should vote me out. Like I wasn't being sketchy like Tony was, or I wasn't doing it. I mean, I was just building my connection still, because this is only final 18 or whatever it was. I don't, making big moves at that point is silly.
They split on Tony and Lynn, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we split on Tony and Lynn.
And Tony had the idol.
And people knew I didn't want to vote Tony, Lynn, or Farrah, so nobody told me any of those names.
Yeah, we had a nice long conversation after that tribal. You're like, I'm so lost.
Yeah.
And I kind of I laid everything. I'm like, this is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So
and that night I wasn't even mad that night because I completely got it. Like I wouldn't have told me either in that situation.
I felt bad because the next morning you're like, oh, I still feel like shit. Like there's nowhere to go. I'm like, dude, you trust me, you're fine. I'm not turning on you.
So that one didn't bother me as much. The night I was bothered was your booth because I was like, why would nobody? I was so confused why nobody told me anything that was happening that night. It literally made no sense to me. Like it was it was crazy.
They all knew Jordan had an idol, and he knew if anybody caught wind, it was going to be me. He was going to give me the idol.
Yeah, and they thought I was like so locked in with Jordan, you, and Farrah, even though I really wasn't. I wasn't really locked in with anybody at that point in the game because I hadn't been locked in with anybody. I was most locked in with Ashley, and she didn't even tell me that it was you. I was just like,
no, you were pretty much on your own at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really get it. Like I said, I didn't really have a group until Jordan's boot happened, and that's when we got.
And then that's when you, Kenny, Cameron, Ashley, and Michael happened, right?
Yeah. And then that was. I mean, we just ran the rest of the game, which made it. It sucked because it made it kind of boring for the viewers.
It was very boring to watch.
Yeah,
On the jury, it was just like, all right, we know
for you and Kenny. For you guys, it made perfect sense. I mean,
it was fantastic.
The same thing.
I mean, I was getting rid of threats, and I wasn't getting voted out. It was perfect world for me. I mean, I was cruising right to Final Four. Like, no complaints on my end. But
it was also you guys were in that big alliance, though, right? But I know you said at Final Tribal, you said you think Michael talked about the social game that he had and everything, but like you said, it wasn't as good as he claimed it to be. Like, I
mean, I didn't see it that well.
I didn't see it at all.
And you were in his alliance too, and I still didn't see it. Like, I mean, I would reach out to him every day, and we'd talk for 5 seconds, and then he'd leave me on red and had tennis or something, and it was just like, all right, we're not going anywhere with these conversations. Like, and Cameron didn't talk to anybody except for Michael, I'm pretty sure. So it was like, okay, of you three, I mean, the only person I talked to really is Ashley. So if we're going off,
that's how I felt at Final Tribal.
Like she wins easily.
Yeah,
Sarah, she was the one who first told me about the Farrah shit when Tony went home. She told Farrah and I that Tony and Lynn were throwing her name out. And so I'm like, okay, that's one game move you made. What did you two do?
You also, like, I mean, you just can't underestimate people like they did with Ashley, and you can't be like, I guess, Michael or Cameron and just get so complacent that you're in like such a good spot where you're not getting voted out, where you just ignore your social game completely and just don't.
When they put themselves in a losing position because it's if they had flipped on us and voted me or Kenny out, it just makes Lane and Dom and Laura and them look even better.
More powerful, yeah.
Yeah, it makes them look even better. If they don't flip, they're going to lose to me, Ashley, or Kenny. So it's just like, no matter what y'all do, you're going to lose at this point. Because
it's like you got to start playing the game earlier than they did. Like, you can't wait that long to make moves, or you're going to be in a lose-lose situation either way.
Yeah.
Which they
was
were.
Was it true that you guys wanted to vote Michael out at 6 if he didn't win immunity?
I was 100% voting Michael out at 6.
Because I know Lane came in, he was like, oh, Vreeland and Ashley told me they were going to vote out Michael if he didn't win immunity.
Yeah, I was 100% just pandering to the jury and making myself look even better by doing that. Because my plan was take out Michael here, and then I would still vote Lane next vote, but it would
guarantee you or Kenny would get to Final Tribal.
Right, and it would make me get all of the Lane, Dom, Laura, Biggs group for sure. All of them.
And I mean, as much as Kenny played a good game, he wasn't getting many votes to the.
Oh yeah, I mean that's why I wanted to go to the end.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, I liked working with him. Don't get me wrong, but like also on top of that, I know people don't like him, so it's like
I mean, when you go at Tribal and say fuck the jury, do you really expect to get votes?
Right, exactly, and that was how Ayla used the same thing in season 4. Like Robbie played the best strategic game, but everybody hates Robbie. So clearly you should just go to the end with him. Even though he played such a good strategic game, his social game is such a negative that it doesn't matter. And she was like able to win because of Robbie being such an idiot.
See, and it's like in season 2 of Broski, I think Kenny, like when we voted him out, it wasn't that clear that he was like people the wrong way. Then
it wasn't like that at all. The only reason I wanted him to go is because he played a messy game. I didn't have any issues with him as a person. Like he was just messy.
Yeah. So my thing was the messy thing and the fact that I thought if I like just rode to the end with him that people would have saw me as like Kenny's
You would have lost to him.
And I didn't want people to see that. So yeah,
right, you would have lost to him if you just went to the end with him.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was like,
it made sense.
It was that. And I also, like I said, I think in that season, Kenny didn't appear to be as big of a jackass until after he was voted out.
Yeah, no, it went up a whole notch once he got voted out.
Lost his vote. And
oh gosh, he was a disaster. I'm glad I didn't need his vote in the end. Like,
when he got voted out All-Stars, he kind of did a disappearing act. Like he only showed up for Final Tribal.
No, yeah.
Yeah, and then I think his like cast a vote speech, he was like, I'm doing this from the bathroom in honor of
Cameron.
Yeah. It would have been, and that was one thing that could have made Broski All-Stars so much more interesting, was the night that I played the 50-50 coin on Kenny.
Oh, Kenny survived that vote?
If he would have survived, Cameron would have went home, who nobody wanted in the game.
That was a good move by Ashley.
Right, yeah, because she voted him. I mean, it was definitely a good move by her. And like, Cameron would have went home. Everybody's most boring player would have been out of the game. It would have made things so much more exciting, because then either me or Kenny is a lock to make the end.
Yeah.
And it would just been more interesting. But of course, it landed not safe. And then me and Kenny go back to back. It's just like, all right.
If you had won immunity, were you giving up to face Kenny and Fire like he says you would have?
No. Why would I have done that?
He came to Jerry. He said, "Oh, me and Justin were going to go to Final Four, and we were going to face each other in Fire, no matter who won immunity."
I would have just. I don't
think Vreeland would have done that.
I would have just picked Kenny.
Yeah.
I would have let the other two go to Fire. I mean, I was confident I would beat Kenny anyways, and he wanted to get to the end, so it was like I would have just picked him if we were both there.
I mean, in general, what do you guys think of the going to Fire strategy though? Like on the actual show, or like
depends. If you know you win the game, if you take this person out and you don't trust the other two to do it yourself.
It fully depends. Like, that's what I mean. Like with All-Stars, Taryn should have done it, because everyone knows Michaela and Vin aren't the best at challenges. And Kat was the clear winner. She won 10 different good things on touchy subjects.
Yeah.
So it's like she goes to Fire there and wins. She wins the game, and she played it safe. And then, that what ended up happening was she got runner up. But so it fully depends. You have to know for sure that you're not going to beat this person.
Yeah. So do you think Karen complimented, like she contemplated it at all, or no?
Not really. I mean, she thought she kind of wanted Kat to be out of the game, but at the same time, she was not willing to risk her spot at the final tribal.
The only time I would have did is if in Super Duper, if somehow Caitlin and I were both in Final Four, I would have given up immunity to take her out. Because I knew
that would have been a good move, because she would have won.
Oh, I know she would have won. That's why I wanted her out from like final 7 or 6.
It fully just depends on like who's there, all of that situation. Like, I don't know.
I remember Sorry.
Corey wanted to go to Fire, and it was a pointless move, because he was trying to build his resume, but at that point his resume was not going to be built enough
me the game.
to win.
I'll stand by that. I think that cost me the game.
I mean, it's very possible.
If I beat Taryn and Fire, I have a better chance to win.
It's very possible.
So what do you guys think of like winners at war situation? You think Natalie should have went against Tony
100%.
Fire?
That was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
That was a no-brainer.
I still don't think she wins, but she had to do it.
Tony played the best game. Like, that was a no-brainer move to try and take him out. Like, you have to.
Yeah.
I think no matter how that Fire making challenge went, when soon as she made Tony and Sarah go against each other, I'm like, all right, whoever wins this Fire was winning the game.
Yeah.
I mean, her only chance was to go against Tony and hope for the best. I mean,
and still, like, I still think if she does that, I think Sarah should still deserve to win over her.
Oh, she absolutely would. Yeah.
I think so too. But like, Tony was by far like the best.
Oh, absolutely.
Game. I mean, it's like a no-brainer. We're gonna vote Tony to win. I mean,
yeah, it's like if he was in Final 3, like he was winning. So
yeah,
and he won by a landslide.
And they didn't.
Which is part of why I'm not one of those people that's super mad that Chris won, because he knew he had to go to Firemaking and do that, and he did. So it was like, all right. I mean, you made the right call. It worked.
I'm not so mad that Chris won. Like, I think he's a good guy. He's a good player, but it's the way, like, it's just the twist that
I just hate the edge of extinction.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and that's why you guys have seen in our game, like, we'll never do it that late in the game. I mean,
yeah.
That we cut it off at merge because it's like, it's just dumb to be able to come back that late and, survive 2 tribals. Oh, I'm in the end. Like, it's just, I think that's
And
really silly.
Chris, he had an idol, and then he had
Lauren's idol at 6, and he had his own idol for 5.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it is. It's like, here, get to the end. Like, here it is. Hand it to him.
And then look at Natalie. She had idols at 6 and 5 when she came back.
I mean, that's part of the problem too, is they don't come back until 6, and then they always have an idol when they come back. So it's like, you're literally like almost already guaranteed a spot just for winning the Edge of Extinction battle back, which she was basically handed to in that too, because it's like, oh yeah, you can.
She still almost lost that.
I know.
Yeah,
she still almost lost.
Wendell
like, skipped the whole challenge.
Wendell was this close to winning it.
Wendell had no
one advantage
challenge, or one advantage, and still almost won it.
I wanted her to lose so bad.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw Wendell was that close, I'm like, all right, Wendell, please.
Because she did not deserve to win. Like, you have that much of an advantage, you still barely can win. Like, you don't even deserve it.
I wanted Rob to come back, but
it was part of what I thought was so dumb too. It's like, she had an advantage in the battle bag just because she was first boot. Like, now we're like rewarding people for being earlier boots than the later. It makes, I don't know, the whole system.
Yeah, when you have like Parvati and Yule on the first battle back, they had no chance to fire tokens, so they didn't get an advantage, had no shot at an advantage. And then I think like Nick and Jeremy, well, Jeremy had a shot, didn't get it. Nick got voted out the day before the battle back.
Yeah,
and then he had no shot at anything.
How is he supposed to beat Natalie, who has 3 advantages? Like, I mean, it's just silly. It's a silly setup that they had. Like, they really, I don't know. I hope they change it. I mean, they've had a lot of time now to kind of.
I don't think they're gonna do Edge of Extinction again.
They better not. Oh, I want your opinion on this, because I've heard Tony's opinion on this, and I think he's totally wrong. If Natalie wins Winners at War, how much worse does it make the season?
Oh, it makes it so much worse.
Oh,
I think it makes it terrible.
Bottom 10.
Yeah, I mean,
that's where I would put
it's crazy because Winners of War is probably my favorite season. Like, I loved it. Like, I loved the cast. I loved Tony winning. I loved watching him just kill it the whole game. But if Natalie wins, and like the person who wins is a big factor for me, because that's probably why Heroes vs. Villains isn't my favorite season, because Parvati didn't win when she should have.
That's why
I don't know. Like, that for me is such a factor.
Kageyan is my favorite season because chaotic season and great winner. Heroes vs. Villains, not
great season, not the right winner.
Yeah.
You'll see when we get to All Stars, my gripe with All Stars and where I have it on my list.
Well, you see, Vreeland loves All Stars.
You can bring me back for All Stars. I'll talk a bunch about all. I love All Stars.
That's where you're coming.
It was good. The winner pissed me off, and that's why I don't like the season.
Well, yeah, of course, but I mean, I have
plenty of thoughts on the winner and the runner-up and everything about that season. I've got
it a lot higher than most people. Not as high as
I have it lower than probably most people do.
Yeah, I've got it higher than most people.
Number 2.
So you're insane.
Well,
he also thinks Redemption Island's not a bottom 5 season, so.
Okay, I'm the type of person that puts so much weight into like liking certain people. Like in All Stars, I'm a huge Boston Rob, Amber, and Jenna Lewis fan.
Yeah,
I love all 3 of them. So them being the final 3 was like, this is amazing to me. I get to watch all 3 of these people the entire season. Like, this is fantastic.
I love All Stars because I love Rob and I love Jenna. I'm not as big of an Amber fan, but whatever. But I think I appreciate Rob's runner-up game more than his winning game, just because of who he's playing against.
Yeah,
basically.
I mean,
and I thought Redemption Island was boring.
Overall, yeah. I mean, I guess it wasn't the best of seasons, but I love Boston Rob. So to me, watching him dominate, what's funny to me is people, and I've said this to a lot of people are so high on Kim and so low on Boston Rob's win. Yet their wins are the same thing. They both dominated.
Boston Rob, it was his 4th time.
It doesn't matter. He should have won his 2nd time.
He should have.
Yeah.
But Vreeland, you're forgetting the GOAT.
I mean, both those casts were terrible. I mean, they were horrible. There's no getting around that.
Yeah.
But it's just what makes it so funny to me is that people are just like, oh yeah, Kim, top 3 win ever. Oh, Boston Rob, bottom 5. He played against terrible people. And it's like, so did Kim. I don't know.
I rank them around the same. I just put Kim a little higher.
I give Kim the edge because she was a first-time player, but they're around the same spot for me.
Yeah, I mean, I have them pretty close as well. I mean, that's where I feel like they should be because it's a very similar game. Dominated bad casts. I mean,
so and overall, if I'm ranking overall players, not just one game, I'm ranking Boston Rob higher because
absolutely,
he should have won twice.
Yeah.
But if you're going by solo winning games, I put Kim higher just because it was his first try compared to Boston Rob on his 4th. But they're probably
he should have won his second game, and I honestly thought he was awesome in Heroes vs. Villains too. He just got screwed because Tyson.
Yeah,
Tyson was an idiot.
I will say I think that's the dumbest move, and people will disagree, but I think that's the dumbest move in Survivor history. I thought it made no sense at all, completely dumb, and got himself voted out and ruined everything for Boston Rob and others. It was just
my one that's like on par with that is Cochran in South Pacific changing his vote, where if he had went to Rocks, Ozzy's Alliance would have had like a 4 out of 6 chance of surviving that. And Cochran flipped just to get like 7th place. Like,
yeah, it made no sense.
Stupid as fuck.
Yeah.
My Survivor nerd's gonna come out here, but I remember that one because there was 2 immunities. The Survivor had them both. It was Ozzy and Dawn.
And then
Whitney had the idol, and then voting for Keith.
Yeah.
So literally only would have been Jim and Cochran against the 5 Apollos who would
have been up for Rocks. They had a 2 out of 7 chance of it not working out for them, and Cochran still flipped.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a scenario. I would have went to Rocks in that scenario.
I don't know how people do such dumb things. Like Tyson switching his vote from Parvati to Russell made, I think that's how it went.
Russell to Parvati.
Russell to Parvati. Okay. It made no sense. Like at all. It literally
was
made
so
no
dumb.
sense. All it did was send him home. Like it was so stupid.
Like the only thing that could do is totally not work out for you.
Yeah. There's no upside to switching your vote there. It's only negatives. And he did it anyways. And it's just like, how can you be this dumb? I cannot believe he got back for a 3rd chance because he was not
better he did on the 3rd chance.
He was not that good in Tokens, and then he was awful in Heroes vs. Villains. So, like, why is he getting a 3rd chance?
I think character purposes.
Yeah, he's a really good team.
Good character.
I mean, he took advantage. Obviously, in his 3rd season, he was great. But
yeah,
I was just surprised he got a 3rd season. But he's not the only one I've been surprised by. Like, I thought Wentworth was a ghost in her 1st season. Basically, she didn't even exist, and then she was amazing in her 2nd season. Obviously, I mean. I don't know. I mean, they obviously made a good choice bringing her back, but it was like, why is she getting back?
I'm surprised she got voted back.
That's what I mean. Like,
I voted for her on my ballot. I'm like, she's not getting votes.
I mean, she literally didn't exist in her 1st season. I feel like.
Yeah.
Like,
all you knew was the Drew Christie episodes, all the screen time she got.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's screen time. Screen time is so interesting to me. It varies so much. Because like. Well, since y'all are doing, have y'all said what you're doing tonight?
Nicaragua.
Okay. Yeah, we're doing Nicaragua.
All right. So you're saying it now. To me, that's so funny because Brenda in that season got so much screen time, but Brenda and fans are
ghost in Caramel.
She got no screen time at all. I really like. I mean, I'm a huge Brenda fan. You both know this. Jeez. I was like, where is she on this season? Like, why is she not ever being shown? And it was just. I don't know. I don't get that. It was.
You saw her when she saved Dawn's teeth, and then you saw her when she got blindsided.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. And then Final Tribal. That was like all she got basically the whole season. It was just like, wow.
And how good she was in her. Also, you compare that to Aubrey in Co Wrong, all the screen time she got, come back for Game Changers, and she was a ghost.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And I think Brenda's a great player. In Nicaragua, she was awesome. She was.
I think she's probably the best player there. Her and Margie. But the shitty thing about that season is they just like they kind of peaked too early and left us with like the just crap at the end.
Dan.
Yeah. All of them.
Yeah.
Sash, Chase, all of them.
I now that we're getting into it, I did not care for that season. You guys
no one
obviously
does.
don't either. But I mean, 36 for me on my list of rankings. I did not like it at all. Basically, there's a lot of bad parts to that season, and the final three was terrible.
Maybe the worst ever.
I have him as like my bottom like 37th overall winner or something like that. Like,
That's probably right around where I would have him.
Yeah. So do you think
or
if
38th?
if
Two people below
Fabio
him.
is not in that final three, if he's up against like a decent competitor at the end, he's not getting any votes.
No chance.
I mean, they were all horrible. That's why it's
Yeah.
like, and the crazy thing is, I think he's such a bad winner, but I still think he was the right winner of the three
He
people.
was. I would have voted for him.
Yeah, and that's crazy because he was terrible. But they were
Yeah.
all three of them were awful.
They
So
were
it's
all
like,
terrible.
who do you vote for?
There's 3 piles of crap sitting up there.
Yeah, exactly. I think. What did Jane get? She got like 4th or 5th,
She was 6th.
Yeah.
6th. I think she would have won, honestly.
Did she get 6?
She was 6th. Yeah.
She was pretty
Dan
good.
got 5th and
Dan was 5. Holly was
Holly
4.
got 4th. Yeah.
Yeah, both of them were
He would have
terrible.
won. Or
But
Holly.
I think Jane would have won if she got there. I don't know. I liked her. She was kind of cool. I mean, obviously, I mean, Brenda definitely would have. Having 2 quits too was just like
Oh my god.
it's just so many bad parts to this season. Like,
The worst part is like that was right
Like-
after like the Marty and Brenda boots were like so good that like, oh, the season's getting good, and then immediately a double quit.
Yeah.
And, like you got
double quit, and it's just like, ugh.
See,
And then-
watching it though, it was like when Marty and Brenda got booted, I'm like, those are the 2 people that I actually like
Enjoy watching.
really liked on this season. So it was kind of shitty. And
Yeah, like what do we have left to look forward to now? It's like,
Nothing.
all right, maybe other people will step up, and then it's like, no,
Nope, 2 people are gonna quit.
yeah, it just didn't happen. And like, there was other parts of that season too, because like that was the season with the Medallion of Power, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
awful twist.
That was just like the dumbest. I'm glad they didn't bring that back because that was just really, really dumb. I mean, I don't know anybody that liked that idea.
Nobody did. It was almost as bad as so we did Fiji last week. Do you remember
Oh, the
one
has versus
with
have-nots.
Fiji? The haves and has nots.
That was a dumb twist too.
Yeah.
I mean,
That
why?
might be the only thing worse than Medallion.
Yeah, I mean, you're literally just obviously the tribe that has everything is gonna be more successful in challenges. Like that's a no-brainer. Like what? I mean, I don't know.
And that's what I don't understand because like people are like, oh, Fiji was good. I'm like, it wasn't that good. Like it was so the pre-merge was so predictable. You knew Robbie was losing every single challenge.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's obvious. How are they gonna win?
They had no fire until day 7.
No, yeah, they have no fire. They're barely eating. They're like sleeping on the ground while this other tribe is like just
They have a
Living
king-size
in-
bed, multiple couches, a whole
yeah,
table
living
with
in
food.
paradise. Like, what a ridiculous idea. I don't know. It's just
I don't know whose idea that was, but it was awful.
not a good one. Not a good one.
I don't know. And I think, all right, so we'll talk more about Fiji and Nicaragua. So the bad seasons for me tend to be like recruit heavy. Like I know they said Nicaragua, I think Jimmy T and Tyrone were the only not like non-recruits, like people who applied for the show. And yeah, like One World, Fiji, Redemption Island, Nicaragua, like all these bad cast seasons, I think they just too many recruits. Like
Yeah.
get people like us who actually want to be on the show. Like
And we'll play the game. And like,
yes.
I hate watching people that just don't play the game. Like they're just out there to do whatever they're doing.
They get their
Out
check,
there
sit for 39 days, get
vacation.
no votes.
Yeah.
Vacation.
Yeah. It's so frustrating to watch because like, I mean, all of us as viewers, we want to see, especially with the show, I mean, we want to see it, popping off and everything being
We want to see big
good.
moves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just as a player, if you're out there like killing yourself over this, why are you not going to bother doing anything?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty mind blowing. And I felt like we got like in this season, it was like, there's a lot of that. I feel like, I mean, it was bad. That really might be the worst final three.
Oh, I think
I can't think of a worse one.
I mean, I
At
really
least
can't
with
think of
most
a-
other bad like finalists, like final tribals, there's usually one person like who's the clear, much better
Yeah.
player, even if the other 2 next to them are awful.
yeah, I'm looking at all the final threes now.
We'll just look at Fiji. But Earl was so great. It canceled
Earl
out
was
how bad
good.
Dreams
Yeah.
of Cassandra were.
Well, who was
Right.
good in this final three? Exactly.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's literally not a final three that's even close to being as bad as that one.
No, because like people don't like Worlds Apart, but I like Mike and Mama C. I think we're both pretty good
I
still.
mean, they were both good. I mean,
Yeah. And then I don't know.
I just had one in my head. I totally lost it though.
I mean, the one I have in my head is a final two though, so it doesn't count.
What is that? Thailand?
No, I mean, I thought Brian played a good game.
Well, Brian played a great game.
I mean, as you know, as annoying and awful as he is, and as horrible as that season was, I still think Brian played a good game.
he did, yeah.
Um,
He almost
Brian-
lost still, but yeah.
controversial, I guess, because some people think she played great for some reason, even though I don't know what she did at all the entire season. Vesepia and
Nalia.
yeah, I thought that was a terrible final two.
No, it wasn't great. Kathy should have.
Kathy, yeah, please make it a final three so Kathy can win because she was great.
Yeah.
But those
I would
two,
love to see the final three in Panama, so Terry could have won,
yeah, exactly.
or a final three in Micronesia where Suri would have won.
Yeah, and then the one season I wish wasn't a final three was their first final three. Ugh.
You wish Ozzy would have won, right?
Of course, I love Yule, but I mean, I'm massive.
You're an Ozzy.
I wanted Ozzy to win that season.
Yeah.
Like-
At the time, I did too. And
He
I
easily wins.
love Yule too.
He easily wins if that's a final two. Like, there's no doubt in my mind.
Oh yeah, because he takes Yule out at 3.
Yeah, he's winning the final challenge. I mean, what challenge is he not winning? He was winning every challenge at that point.
And
Survivor.
you couldn't expect it like at that point from Ozzy's perspective. How could you expect a final three after there have always only been?
Yeah, they've never had a final three. I mean, you're clearly not expecting that. I mean,
And also in Ozzy's defense, Yule had that hidden immunity idol that was the super idol that kept him safe the entire game.
The super idol's also bullshit.
yeah,
Wow.
I'm not a Super Idol fan. I
It's
think
way too powerful. I mean,
it's so silly.
Especially if you let it happen like that late in the game. Like in the game Jordan and I host, we had a super idol, but it expired at Final 10.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
Just
that's not
It
as
got
bad.
used at Final 10.
Yeah. I mean, that's not as bad to where it's not as late in the game. I don't know. I'm the type of person though, and I've talked about this in the past too. Like I do not like overpowered advantages that are just like over the top crazy. Like super idols don't do it for me. I some of these other games they have like the auto rock draw or the reflector vote thing. I don't like any of that. It's not skill to me. I like skill based thing. Like playing an idol takes skill. Playing steal votes and stuff correctly takes skill. Getting the most votes and being like, oh, here's this idol to save me, that doesn't take skill.
yeah. I mean, like you said, too many advantages just they change the game, and it's like what are advantages at this point? It's like
Yeah.
if you have too many of them, they lose their power basically.
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, as long as it's one that takes skill, I'm okay with it. But because playing idols correctly is not that easy. Like usually people, aren't fully aware they're going home. But like the super idols and stuff, I mean, it's just it's too easy. It's just
And you get people like me, when they have an idol, they're super paranoid about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just ask James. In his game, I had 2 idols, and I was so paranoid every vote, and I ended up wasting one.
Yeah.
Well, James knows firsthand about wasting idols.
Oh, I know 100%.
In our hosting
everyone.
career, James definitely has the most wasted idol plays.
3.
Oh,
I mean, I
last
wasted an
one.
idol. I wasted an idol on season 3.
yeah.
With how many votes?
Just one.
1. Oh,
I didn't realize. Taryn tells me last second, "Hey, they're going to vote for you. You have to play your idol, and we're going to vote Andy." I'm like, "Okay." And then everyone votes Andy out except Andy votes me. I'm like, "Wow." You know how much more useful that idol would have been if I held on to it?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have had to freak out at Final 6. I would.
Well, I mean, James could have easily kept. I mean, if he kept his idol, he is in a much better position as well.
I could have won the game. Like, yeah.
Yeah. At least the third one you played, you did get votes, though.
I got
You made
3
progress.
votes.
Progress.
Yeah, but I shouldn't have been. So I was kind of skeptical about Diane because it would have been the right move for her to flip at that point, and she didn't.
Yeah.
But I was also like skeptical about Pascal, and I shouldn't have been about him because he was 100% with me. But
Yeah, I mean, you were his number one, I'm pretty sure, at that point. So,
I was.
Yeah.
And I still voted him out, but
yeah. I mean, it's tough because like it's so hard to actually put faith in people in these games because I mean it's just anything.
Oh, there's very few people I play games with that I fully 100% put my trust in.
Right. Exactly. I mean, it's
like I can count on probably one hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, the safest move, like for me, usually when I find idols, I don't tell anyone until like I'm about to play it. I'll tell like my closest ally. I'm like, yeah, like I have the idol.
I mean, I don't tell people. I mean, Juliana had no idea, and I played it for her. She didn't even know I had.
Yeah.
The longest I went without telling anyone I had an idol was when I found the idol in season 3 of Super Duper, and I waited until I found it on a Friday, I think. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I think it took like 3 or 4 days till I finally told Taryn I had it, and then not realizing how many of these fucking advantages she's keeping from me.
Yeah.
So she never told you?
She didn't tell me anything.
She's the queen of win and reward challenges. She's got the most in Super Duper history.
It annoyed me even more in All Stars when she won the first one. Didn't tell me. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you tell. Like, who the fuck? Who am I gonna tell?
Oh gosh, it's funny.
Yeah,
it is tough to tell people though, because it can be used against you so quickly. Like,
yeah, but she should have known. Like, I had her back.
Yeah, I mean, Kat thought Zach had her back, so she told him about the safety without power, and then everybody knew about it within like 2 seconds. He told Biggs, and Biggs told everybody.
Well, that's
Well, there's your problem. He told Biggs.
Yeah, it's just funny. Ugh.
No, but the other thing is, I like the secret like reward challenges because even if you did horrible, if you really want to, you can lie and be like,
yeah,
I did 75 push-ups. Like, I got an idol.
Yeah, I mean, it makes it so much more interesting. Because like people knowing that you get stuff, I mean, it would make people not even want to try and win rewards because like,
oh yeah,
who wants that target on their back? That was like when I got the idol clue in Broski All Stars, but everybody knew I was getting it. I was like, okay, I don't want this. Just throw it in the fire. I was like, I don't want people to be like, oh, we got to vote him out. He's got something. Like, no, I don't need more reasons for people to vote me. They already have plenty, apparently. Like, we don't.
You could do what Jordan did. He got the same thing on when James got voted out. He got the idol clue, but he shared it with everyone.
Oh, because he got the second most.
Yeah, when you got voted out, you guys voted for him. So
yeah.
And that's how it worked for me because on Paul's boot, he voted for me, and we all voted Paul, so I had the second most.
So it was the same thing that I guess those next 2 tribals, they were gonna give a clue to whoever got the second most votes.
Yeah, well, it was supposed to end with me, I think, but when I didn't use it and I just
didn't find the idol
fire, they were like, okay, we'll pass it to the next tribal then,
which is Jordan, and he ended up finding the idol.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think it was that difficult for him to find either.
With the clue, no.
Without the clue, it would have been impossible.
Oh, no one was ever finding that idol if he didn't have a clue.
Yeah.
My thing was I didn't want people to think I had it. I mean, this was so early in the game. Basically, the way I rely on social connections. Like, if I need an idol at final 17, I'm not playing the game right.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm not going to win the game if I need idols that early in the game.
Yeah, because you're just gonna, if you use that idol at 17 and you're still on the out socially, you're just gonna go next.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go next. And even if I don't go next, I already have this resume way too early in the game because I played an idol to save myself at final 17. It's like, regardless, it's not going to be good. So if I need it, I'm doing something wrong. Like, I might as well just give up now if I'm going to be that bad and need it so soon.
It's rare when you get someone to play then you play a couple like successful idols and you still get to the end.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Oh, we just saw it on Broski.
No,
Bailey had 3 good idols.
In the real show, like, how often have you seen someone play like a very early idol and end up like winning?
I can't think
I can't think of anything.
I can't either. So my most memorable like successful idol play early on was Tom in Heroes vs Villains.
They took Suri out.
Idol Suri out, and he went next, I think, or
exactly.
Like, he was gone.
Like, it was the right move for him, but it still was like
it doesn't solve anything.
Nah.
he let JT take out a big threat and he's like, okay, you're still going next.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, like if you're needing it that soon, you're screwed anyways. Like you gotta, it's all about getting in like the right connections and having people that you can rely on. Like Idle's not going to do anything for you.
Yeah. So in your games you host, I know you guys have done a lot of pre-merge idols. Do you like that aspect, like having some idols last all game, and then some just being pre-merge?
I mean, it kind of depends. Like we've actually not done many pre-merge idols.
Yeah.
I think All Stars was probably our first time actually.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. So Broski, they've done a lot of pre-merge.
They've done, yeah, they do.
In my game, we do pre-merge idols,
which I don't know how I feel about them because I got the one in Broski and then I played it just because, even though I didn't play
with you, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You played it for no reason, but it was going to expire. So
right, exactly. So I don't know how I feel about them. I think it kind of just depends in a way. Like again, if you need it pre-merge, you're probably not
going to make it far. Yeah.
Right. You're not doing the best anyway. So I don't know. But we also had we had the pre-merge ones, but we also had like the final 6 one at the same time.
I like the final 6 idol, especially if you're doing fire making at 4.
Yeah. Those are the ones that can be clutch. Like I mean, mine was the one I used at Broski was a final 5, and I used it at 6. And then I had 2. I played 2 back to back in Torg at 7 and 6, but I didn't need either one of those either. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about idols.
Yeah. So the other thing I think is like, I mean, like you said, the pre-merge idol. If you play it, and even if you don't need it, it kind of like puts a target on your back. Like,
yeah,
this person's like found shit. Like they're putting themselves out there.
Yeah, which for me it was fine in Broski because I was playing up just being this.
You're like, playing under the radar, yeah.
Right, I was playing this like I don't know, dumb thing up really hard. And I was like, oh yeah, I played the idol because like I thought it was the right thing to do, like play the idol, and I was just like playing up all this stupidness, and it was funny because like that made Kenny play his idol even though he didn't need to.
Yeah, and even after that, Kenny was like asking me, he's like, why the fuck did Vreeland play his idol? And I'm like, yeah, because it was expiring tonight. Like,
yeah,
why did you play your idol? And he was like still questioning. He's like, well, he might not be loyal to us because he thinks that we might have been voting for him. Like he felt the need to play the idol. And I'm like, no, it was not that at all. Like,
I literally said, I know I'm not getting votes. I'm just playing it anyways. Like, I don't know.
But yeah,
I don't know, Kenny.
It's different.
Idols are pointless, kind of.
Yeah, it's different like on the show though, where they're hidden and there aren't many like pre-merge idols, like you said.
I mean, the only way that can help you is if like you survive and then immediately swap. That's the only way it can be beneficial.
I was thinking if I ever get a pre-merge idol and it's only good for pre-merge and I'm in a good position on my first tribe, but I get swap screwed, might be an extra like safety net to play that first vote
and try and get somewhere. That's I mean, that's the only way. But even then, even if you don't go next, I still feel like it's going to hurt you in the long run because of it being a resume builder so early in the game. And it's just like, I don't know, it's almost a lose-lose, but I mean, it does buy you more time. So
yeah. But idle after the merge is definitely when you want to have the successful idle play.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you said, it's also shitty to get voted out with an idol in your pocket. But I mean, as someone who's unsuccessfully played idols before, I'd almost rather like take the risk and go out with
home with it. Yeah.
And hold on.
Well, that's what I did in SOG. I had one.
Yeah.
I had one at final. I had it at final 15, and I swapped into a 3-2 deficit numbers wise, but we got the one guy to flip. We got Corey to flip, and it was like, well, I can play it, but if we're on the right side of the vote, then I look like an idiot playing this idol and wasting it.
Yeah.
If I'm on the wrong side of the vote and it does save me, like I'm probably still screwed regardless anyways. So it's like I saved it.
Yeah.
And it was just like, and it saved me at Merge Tribal because I would have went home without it. So to one vote. Dumb.
Yeah, weren't there like 7 advantages played?
There was 9 advantages played.
9 advantages played.
Wow.
And John had 8 votes and I had 1, and John played an idol, and I would have went home with a 1-0 vote of 12 people, but I played mine too, so then we had to do a revote because there was no votes that counted.
That's wild.
Crazy.
Crazy and epic.
What was the most wild tribal that you ever hosted out of the 5 seasons? Not counting the rock draw.
I was about to say probably the rock draw, because that was
Not
crazy.
counting the rock draw.
Oh man, most wild tribal. Hang, I'm trying to look real quick. I mean, Biggs's was pretty crazy this season, just because he had 2 idols and a penalty vote.
Yeah.
And
it went
I don't know why he didn't play an idol.
It's just pretty wild that he didn't play an idol. Like, I didn't understand that at all.
Especially because, no offense, I know Biggs is going to listen to this. Like, he and Broski All-Stars, he wasted 2 idols pre-merge when he got, I think, 1 combined vote.
Yeah. And then that night, I mean, it was obvious that he was the vote.
He's notorious for wasting idols, and
the dude got a Broski tattoo to get an idol and wasted it the night he got it.
Yeah, I mean, that was crazy.
And he got no votes.
OJ's vote out was kind of crazy that night in your season.
Well, that's because Derek sent his vote to the main chat for Caitlyn.
Yeah, but I mean, that's kind of crazy.
I was so happy that night because I'm like, I want OJ to leave. The 3 of them are all like, no, we want Caitlyn gone. I'm like, all right, fine. He sends his vote. I'm like, all right, good. I get my way. Someone's going to switch their votes.
Didn't someone do that in season 4 too? Send the vote to the main chat.
Brandon did it as like a joke. Oh no, there was one. Yeah, there was like one. Jared S. Like the first tribal he went to, he did it on accident too. Yeah. It was funny.
But that's like the first vote. It's his first game. This was final 7.
yeah, that's made it kind of worse.
That's like in Broski season 2. I meant to send a screenshot that Frank sent me to Kenny and Sarah, and I sent it to the main chat on accident. And I was working, and I put my phone down.
It was so funny because that was when like Frank sent a million voice messages right after, right?
Oh yeah,
it was so intense, and I was just sitting there dying because I was just chilling. Like my position in the game was completely fine. Like I'm just soaking it all in, and it was amazing.
You were the only one on the other tribe that actually knew me too, so it was like
I
thought it was hilarious.
Well, I thought it was great. I loved it.
I remember Frank in when he came back for season 3 of Broski, he did all of his like strategy talk on video calls because he didn't like nothing he wanted to say important was in messages.
And that's one thing I noticed too. And I think in our season 2 of Broski, I feel like it wasn't that big of a deal, like with screenshots. They weren't that like, I don't know.
Oh, so this is my thing. So in our season and like normal seasons, I think everyone's using a screenshot is more of like a defense than like an offensive like thing.
In All-Stars, it was so offensive.
Exactly. And I'm guilty of it too. I was sending them like crazy when I was
I did it one time and it worked so well. Brandon was like, yo, what do you think about going Ashley? Like, we could just do Ashley because she probably doesn't have the idol. And I immediately just sent that to Ashley. I was like, look, let's get rid of Brandon. He wants you out of the game. Brandon's got to go. And she was like, oh, yeah, let's do it. Brandon's gone. Like, I don't know. Because I wanted to get rid of him. But
what do you think, though? Screenshots being allowed, stupid.
I don't like it at all.
I don't like it at all either.
Don't like it at all. I think it takes away from the game so much.
It does. And it's like, so it's like if we're actually on an island and me and you are having a conversation, like we're telling each other something very important.
Yeah. Like, you're not going to go and send that to people.
Yeah. If I tell you something and I mean it, or if I don't mean it, it's like if I send that to you over a text and they could screenshot it and send it to someone else, like that means a whole lot. But like if I'm just telling you something and after actually rely on your word and like it means so much more. It's just
and it's so much different telling people what was said and they have to believe you to where you can just showing them what was said and like, look, here it is. This is facts. This is what happened. Like, I don't know. It's so different.
So is any game, like I know Broski got rid of it, but like Have you heard of any other game that allows screenshots? Because I haven't.
I have not. Broski was the only one that I knew.
What about you, Michael?
Yeah, our first 2 seasons we allowed screenshots.
Really? I didn't know that. That's interesting. I don't know. I'm not
How
a
did
fan.
that play out?
I knew, and it was funny because I was like even told during All Stars, literally every message or voice message I send is being sent to everybody.
Yeah.
I was like, all right. I mean, so my strategy was just like tell the truth the whole time. Like, so I was just saying whatever I wanted to people, and I was like, well, they're gonna show it to everybody anyway, so I'm just gonna be straightforward. Like, this is what I'm gonna say, and they're gonna not be shocked when they see it. They'd be like, oh yeah, he said the same thing to me, like, because I knew it was just getting sent around. It was just ridiculous. So
Yeah.
The only time in the 2 seasons in my game that they ever got used was at our final 10 tribal in season 2, which is probably the most wild tribe we had those 2 seasons. Hart, before he played an idol, sent 2 screenshots because his ally just turned on him. He's like, oh, here. This is what my ally was telling me before. This is what Cooper was telling me before he turned on.
Oh, you
him.
had it in season 2 too?
Yeah.
Are you gonna have it in season 3?
We're still debating.
Okay.
Wait, so you've had it in both seasons, though?
Yes, season 1 and 2. Season 1, it really didn't do much, and then season 2, it only at that one tribal, which didn't even really affect the game.
So people didn't use them that much, but
Not really. No.
Like I said, it kind of depends on the season. I feel like because in season 2 of Broski, it was used, but not like crazy. And then season 5, it was just like screenshots, literally everywhere, just like
Season 3, I remember
nuts.
I only got screenshots. I remember when was it Amanda? I think tried to make an all-girl alliance, and then Farrah, Sydney, and Allison all sent me and Jay screenshots of them declining the alliance.
Well, I mean, Farrah is notorious as the biggest screenshot user of anybody in Broski, so
yeah.
that doesn't surprise me that she did.
No, but you gotta, like you said, if you use it as too much of like an offensive approach, just gonna get yourself in trouble. Like,
yeah,
you use it to like, if somebody thinks you're lying about something, you say, all right, here it is. Like,
I usually only tried to do that in season 3. I did. I'm like, here, I didn't say this here. Here's the proof.
yeah.
Well, I mean, in season 2, I didn't send. I don't know if I sent any. Like, I don't remember sending any. I didn't.
I was you, but I don't think you sent me any.
Yeah, you sent plenty to me from about mostly about Kenny usually, and that's what made me so much more want to go for Kenny too. Because it's like, all right, Kenny's saying all this crap. Like, Kenny's got to get out of this game. I'm done with this guy. And then, and in season 5, I mean, I think I only sent like a handful at most. I mean, the only one that I remember actually doing anything was the one to get Brandon out. So I don't know. I'm not a big fan of them, but I know, I mean, a lot of people in the game love using them, but I'm glad they took it away.
Yeah, most games don't use them though, but like Michael said, it didn't play a huge role in your game, but
yeah, I mean, I think you can
not have them.
It's probably fine in newbie seasons, but when you have your first returnee season, you might want to cut that out, because returnee season, like, it just gets nuts because there's so many connections and there's so much crap going around, and it's just like screenshot city at that point.
I can't wait till our first All-Star season.
It's fun. All-Stars are a fun season to host. I liked it.
Oh yeah, sure. Every boot sucks, but I mean, it's like,
I mean, that is the problem. It's like I like everything.
You love all the people you're bringing back, and you like these people are going to get their hearts broken.
Right, and you're just watching them, go left and right. But it's still so much fun to watch, and the gameplay is so good. I mean, you have no duds in the game. Like, it starts right away. People are playing the game. I mean, they flipped on James' third tribal of the game. Like, he was in their alliance, did not care. Like, gone. Yeah. I mean,
yeah, and I mean, it's also like you said, when you have newbie seasons, you have to like factor in, you're probably gonna have a few duds, people who
it always happens.
Like,
but for the most part, the duds will go early.
Oh no, they do, and it usually makes the early game a little bit boring, which is why All Stars is so cool, because it's not. I mean, the very first tribal of the game was a blindside on Wayne and Michaela.
Yeah,
it was nuts.
Frank was so upset about that one.
It was wild. I mean, what made it so wild was that Wayne and Michaela call, though. That was just crazy.
Michael, you ever see that or no?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, you need. I'll send it to you here shortly.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. I mean, it was so awkward, but it was so good.
It was maybe either that or the tribal where we voted out Ayla and Broski All Stars. were the two most awkward tribals I've ever, because the Ayla one was like between like the time where they asked questions and when everyone was going to the breakout rooms to vote. Ayla was like asking me like she was like trying to talk to me like a friendly like level, like not knowing I had voted for her, and I was kind of just like, yeah, like sticking my hand
That night,
like almost sticking my hand in my face, like
that night drained me so much because like I knew that vote was gonna be big, and then I had just come out of the Super Duper Tribal where I survived by the skin of my teeth, and so I was like, I can't. These two tribals.
That wasn't that hard for you. That was a easy vote for you compared to me.
I knew people were not gonna be happy about it though.
Yeah, I took the backlash from it though, so.
Just like I let Andy take the backlash when I wanted Jester out in season 3.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to do it, but wait. So what happened with that again? Explain that.
Oh, Jester?
Yeah.
So basically, what happened with that is I like Jester, but like I don't want to play a game with him, and so when we didn't meet up to the merge, and I had said in my confession like I want him out the first chance I get, and then I didn't vote him out at the merge. And then the next vote, OJ was kind of trying to extend the deadline of how long Jester could stay in the game. I'm like, no. And so I was told Andy a lot of like what was going on with like OJ, Caitlyn, Jester, and Allie, because Derek had told me they were an alliance. And so Andy's like, okay. And then that night, Caitlyn and OJ get off the call with me, him, and Taryn. And he's like, okay, we know all this stuff. Why don't we just get rid of Jester tonight? I'm like, that's exactly what I want to do. And then Andy took all the shit for it and got voted out because I'm like,
yeah, him and OJ's beef was funny.
Were they actually like rivals, or was it kind of like?
Well, they started the game like aligned in the Taco Row Alliance, and then they became rivals, and it was just like it was an interesting dynamic switch between them. But I mean, they still got along like on a personal level, but like in a game level, they were just going at it, battling, and then I'm pretty sure they went back to back.
They went back to back because OJ got Andy out, and then I got OJ out.
Yeah.
And Caitlyn tells you that would have been me if I didn't win immunity that night.
The night
OJ went home.
What night OJ went home? It's hard for me to remember at this point, but
too many tribals at this point.
Yeah.
And it was however long ago.
Yeah.
All right. We've been going for a while here.
Yeah, we have. I was about to say it's already 11:40 for me. Jeez.
Yeah.
I'm usually getting ready to go to bed at this point.
Yeah.
All right.
This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I've enjoyed just shooting the shit basically.
Yeah.
But if y'all want to jump into your normal content, I don't know if you even want to at this point.
Oh no, we're probably saving it for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna head off then.
It's a nice segue into it. And Vreeland, we love you. You're our favorite host, and anytime you want to come on, you're welcome. So
yeah, I mean,
just let us know.
Especially certain seasons like All Stars.
I know the one we're definitely having you on for, and you know it too, probably.
Yeah, I'll come on and talk for that one too. But yeah, I mean, I love watching y'all play our game too. So
yeah,
I'm gonna play animation at some point, Michael. I promise. It's just
I'm gonna keep you to that.
I wanted to play Pokemon, but it just didn't work out with everything.
It's funny. I told Vreeland, I was like, I had a dream that Vreeland applied and he won.
Yeah. I wanted to play, and because like I don't know, I want to play a theme that I like, and that would have been one that I liked, but
it just started literally the same time as All Stars.
Yeah, and I just did not want to host or play during hosting All Stars.
And the finale night was the same night as All Stars.
Yeah, so I mean that would not have been great at all.
Yeah, but Michael and Jordan do seasons like you guys do, pretty quick back to back. So
yeah,
so we usually do our seasons are always 28 days, and then so we do like 4 weeks on, 3 weeks off. 4 weeks on. We keep a pretty
similar to Super Duper.
Yeah.
Except our breaks are a tad bit longer.
Ours are only 23-day seasons too. We go quick with it.
I remember you guys turned around from season 2 to 3 very quickly.
That was within a week.
Yeah,
because we wanted to fit it in before Broski All-Stars.
Yeah.
So we just slammed in another season. It's like, all right, week to get absent. Okay, we're starting. Boom, here we go. Because we had already.
That's why I played. So I'm like, okay, they're gonna be done before Broski All Stars. I'll play this season. Then no, I had to spend finale week of Super Duper.
Well, it was like only a short window of lacking, but you just happened to be in the finale week while also having Broski. But
yeah, and I mean, we'll see why Tony's taking a longer break right now, but
yeah, well, this one it's going to end up being I think like 3.5 weeks ish.
Okay.
Because we're starting on the 24th, I think. We originally weren't going to start until much later, but there's more to that will be seen later as well.
We'll see.
Yeah. But all right, guys.
All right.
Yep, it was a lot of fun.
All right, awesome having you on, Justin. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
Anytime. You guys asked me. All right, later, guys.
All right, peace out, brother.
All right.
We still recording?
Yeah.
All right, so we're probably not going to fully get into Nicaragua tonight. We spent too much time.
It was totally worth it. It was so fun having him on.
Oh yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed that, and that's pretty much what we intended for originally too. It was like kind of
to have a solo interview and then get into the season on another show.
Right. Yeah. So, all right. My thing is, I'm working at 4 tomorrow, and I took Saturday off because I was going to the Orioles game. But I'll be off like during the day tomorrow and Saturday. So if you want to record during the day tomorrow night, or Saturday during the day, it works either way.
Okay. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
But I mean, it's up to you. I mean, we could record anytime tomorrow besides like between 4 and 9 or 4 to 10.
Okay.
So if you want to do morning again, like we did last week, we could do that.
Yeah, I might be busy tomorrow morning, so maybe Saturday would be a better idea.
Or we could. So I'm getting my shot at 11:30. So
okay,
we could do after that, or we could do tomorrow night, or we could do Saturday during the day.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Either one works, but I mean, that was a lot of fun though.
Yeah, that was great, and we're definitely gonna have more of those with different people.
Yeah,
in the future.
Our next guest might be Bring the Heat.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Not going to say who it is, but he's excited to come on. He's been bothering me about it for a long time. So
yeah, and he talked to me about it today too.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be.
We're excited to have him on though.
And then we'll have more. And the season that Vreeland wants to actually come on and talk about is. You could message it to me. I'm not going to give it away. But
yeah, no, I know.
Yeah. His favorite season that is top 5 for him, which is insane. But all right. So I'm probably gonna hop off now.
Yeah, we're gonna end it here.
All right.
But we'll have the Nicaragua episode this weekend.
Yes.
And we will see you then.
All right.
Have a good night.